Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Red Pearls of Borneo. We completed the base, yeah, the pre-credits game last time, and then we unlocked this ability to concentrate. I don't know when this appeared. It just showed up eventually. We're still missing some. Go away! Why are you up there? We're still missing some stuff here, but I think it's possible that we need more information from other routes to get there, or to get them. Or from like this post game to get them. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, that's what we're gonna go for. We're gonna see where this takes us, and find out what exactly is here. All right. The web of memories is complete. I can feel the resonance strengthening. It's pulling me beyond the island. The survivors, Lucas, Lune, and Rose. I can see the path. They didn't just escape. They endured a long, harrowing journey back to England. I've unlocked a new pathway. It maps the return voyage. I can now follow them across the sea. Alright, so this is the original game, but now we can go to the journey, which, we could see an entire journey here. They're going from Seoul Sea, it seems like. That's the one location we know of so far. The open water between Borneo and the mainland. Alright, I don't know how many people are gonna be here. Cynthia's not there, so yeah. Alright, so by the end of last stream, we were basically not reading, as I wasn't like reading all of the text. I was starting to just like try to rush through. But we're a new beginning. We'll start reading the text a little bit more. We'll see how that goes, until like how long that goes until I give up again. But for now we're reading all the text again. My instincts tell me I've uncovered everything there is to see in this location. The remaining hours hold no secrets, so they were only here for this hour. Dang, this trip is gonna last only for like short number of hours? What's going on here? Let's see. Oh no. This is days now. So I think the text should say days, not day and not hours, I guess. Alright. So this happened on December 17th. Alright, the sea is calm, but the deck of the launch is slick with blood. Rose Goodwill is in a cabin with a bucket of water and a somewhat clean rag cleaning up Lune Goodwill, who has finally stopped crying. Alright, so I guess a little recap. So at the end of the events in the regular game, these three managed to escape on a boat. So that's Rose Goodwill, who is the now wife of the owner of the plantation in Borneo, where the first scenario took place. There's Lune Goodwill, who's the daughter of the owner's first wife. So they're not, Rose and Lune are not directly blood related. And then there's Lucas, who is a secret agent, who was a government agent. MI5, was he MI5 or was the other person MI5? Who's a government agent who was there to investigate stuff. I think he was investigating like chemical warfare that the Japanese were using. This is taking place in the Pacific during World War II, so yeah. Alright. There now, Lune. You're looking quite yourself again. Though I'm sure I don't know what's to be done with your hair. It's positively unruly. It matters not. Just leave it be. I only wish to curl up and sleep forever. Though I am frightfully peckish, I find him pining for Asia's kachang and the karapok. I would give anything for a savory right now. I too, my dear. I too. Ladies, I shall require... Oh, wait. There's a knock on the cabin door. Ladies, I shall require your assistance on deck shortly. Oh, and Rose, I found the scissors you requested. And for you, Lune, I've managed to forge some salt beef and a few ship's biscuits. Oh, come... Lune Goodwill pulls a face. Come now, young lady. We can't be choosy. Lune Goodwill reluctantly accepts the ration and begins to chew the leathery beef with a look of grim resignation. Rose Goodwill uses the scissors and begins to hack at some of the hem of her silk gown, shortening the Parisian finery into something more serviceable for a life at sea. They step onto the deck to face the rotting bodies. Lucas Sterling drags the body of a British sailor to the rail. Lune Goodwill and Rose Goodwill struggle with the dead weight of an Imperial Japanese soldier. Oh wait, don't just heave them over. Get their belts, boots, timepieces, and anything else of value on them. Lucas, that's positively ghoulish! It's survival, Lune. We have nothing. No coins, no credentials, and the world is on fire. I must say, this is a rather rum way to spend the week before Christmas. We'll have yen, perhaps even a bit of bullion. The sailors may have a few sovereigns or straight dollars in their pockets. And sidearms too. We trade all of it for food, and passage to Europe when we reach Singapore in a couple of days. Alright, we got Singapore as a location. Sickened but resigned, they strip the dead of their valuables before committing them to the deep. Alright. So we do still have the biohazard material sample. Why are they still showing up here? They can't be here because they're already here. Did it break? Did the helping hand break? Alright, so they said a couple of days. So next is December 20th. We're gonna have to use this because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be other people here. Like if we try to do this. Oh no, there's no people here yet. Alright, cool. They arrive in Singapore and the place is in chaos. Air raid sirens are wailing. People... I can't believe the air raid sirens are contributing to the extinction of whales. People can be heard discussing the HMS Prince of Wales. The Prince of Wales is here too! He's here to protect the whales. And Repulse have been sunk by Japanese air raid days ago. Everyone is panicking. Lune Goodwill and Rose Goodwill are huddled together in Kolyaki is a bustling area in Singapore. Who's she explaining this to? In Singapore. It is a hub for trade and commerce. The streets are lined with shops and markets. Watching the last of the grand ships leaving the harbor, they are still wearing their clothes from days ago. They've tried to clean themselves and restore them best they can, but they look like they've been through hell. Lucas Sterling comes through the crowd, sets of clean second-hand clothes in hand. There you are. It's so crowded here. Everyone is scrambling. This was the last ship. I've heard there'll be no more now that the Japanese are here. What are we going to do? Lucas, I'm scared. The crowd is crushing us. Well, don't worry, I have a plan. I still have the biohazard sample. That is a bad idea to have in your pocket. I should be able to get a hearing with the Colonel's secretariat. The civil servants managing the government on behalf of the governor. In 1941, Singapore, it was the final authority for exit visas, travel permits, and emergency funds for refugees. That's the note on Colonial Secretariat. They'll provide us with papers and passage on a tramp steamer. What a tramp steamer is. The tramp steamer was the unglamorous workhorse of the South China Sea. A merchantman that wandered from port to port in search of leftover cargo to sell. For now, I found you a room at the shop house for a couple of straight dollars. Shop house is... A shop houses were two-story terrace houses with shops on the ground floor and the living spaces above. By 1941, these buildings had become labyrinths of small interior cubicles separated by thin plywood partitions to cram as many refugees waiting for a way out as possible. It's not much, but it'll give you a chance to rest and clean up. What about you? I will stay downstairs. I won't be far if you need me. Lucas Sterling hands Rose Goodwill the clothes. I'm sorry. This is all I could find. I hope they fit. Don't apologize. You've done so much already. Nods. Nods. Go rest. We'll have a long day ahead of us in the morning. Alright, so they're still in Singapore then. Lucas Sterling has departed for Empress Palace to secure the papers of the secretary. This is the next day. In the shophouse cubicle, Rose Goodwill finally scrubs the grime of the dreadful night from her skin and changes into the cotton dress Lucas Sterling bought for her. She looks almost human again. Lune Goodwill, famished, devours the hawker food Lucas Sterling provided. Sauté, rice cakes, and various sugary confections from the street barrows, until she turns a pale shade of green and curls up on the cot groaning. What did you do, Lune? Lucas Sterling returns as evening falls, looking pleased with himself. It's done. I've spoken to the harbor master. We are no longer stateless. We have credentials. Thank heavens! However, it means I have to carry a job for them. We have to take the sample to Whitehall ourselves. They think it's safer with us as we travel incognito. Of course they do. Also, for the sake of propriety, and to avoid any uncomfortable cross-examination by the Port Authority, I've had to arrange our papers in a particular fashion. Lune, you're now Lune Sterling, and you're to be my sister. Lune Goodwill perks up instantly, her nausea forgotten. She beams. Your sister! Oh, Lucas, how perfectly grand! And Rose, I beg of you, just hear the logic of it. Lucas Sterling begins to squirm, turning a dark shade of crimson. The papers define you as my wife. It was the expedient choice. A man traveling with his spouse and sister raises fewer eyebrows than whatever this motley crew is. Your wife? Really, Lucas? Was there no room for a distant cousin, or perhaps a maiden aunt, or even just another sister? Do you think me too old to play the older sister, is that it? It needn't have been a matrimonial farce. Lucas Sterling sheepishly produces 2 plain gold bands from his pocket. We shall need to wear these. If we are to be inconspicuous, we must dress the part. Rose Goodwill stares at the rings, then bursts into laughter. The absurdity of it all is too much. Lune Goodwill's smile vanishes. She glowers at the rings, visibly jealous. Lucas Sterling notices. He kneels beside the cot and pulls a small velvet pouch from his pocket. I've not forgotten you, Lune. He fastens a string of pearls around her neck. Lune Goodwill gasps, touching the cool gems. Lucas, we needed that money for food. And the long haul home! You spent it on baubles! Steady on, my dear wife. We have more than enough to see us through. You're taking this marriage nonsense far too easily, Mr. Sterling. He waves a set of tickets in front of her face. Passage to Europe is secured. We depart in the morning tide. It's a blue funnel merchantman, not a luxury liner. But there isn't another bolt hole out for this city. I was incredibly lucky to even be able to get those. I have to warn you that we aren't heading into open water. We have to run the Malacca Strait Gauntlet. 500 miles of the narrowest, shallowest water on God's earth. And that hold every inch of the northern coast. They've captured the airfields in Quetta Alor Star and Sungay Patani. That means their bombers will be only 20 minutes away from our deck at any given moment. They'll be hunting for our wake from the clouds, and we'll be navigating in a total maritime blackout. No lighthouses, no channel markers. If the captain miscalculates by a hair's breadth in the dark, we'll be grounded in the silt, sitting ducks for a strafing run. And then there's the I-boats, the Japanese submarines. They're corking the funnel to the top of Sumatra, waiting for the few of us who don't get caught by the planes. So by all means, get your rest on now. A delightful bedtime story, Lucas. Well done. So fucking sassy. I shall take my leave then. I'll step outside. Sleep well, ladies. Rose Goodwill grabs Lucas Sterling's hand. You'll do no such thing. Stay in the room with us. After all, it would raise eyebrows if a husband and wife were found keeping separate quarters. There's space on the floor. I'll get you a spare blanket and a bolster. A bolster? Long, firm pillows, common in the tropics. Okay, sure. Alright, so next... I guess they're still here. Is this the next day? Yeah. The group get woken up in the night. My instincts tell me I've uncovered everything there is to see in this location. The remaining hours hold no secrets. Alright, cool. The group get woken up in the night. A haunting mechanical wail begins to rise and fall over the city. Yeah. They get dressed and go downstairs to see what's going on. Lucas Sterling notices a disheveled British soldier, a veteran by the look of it, huddled in the shadowed archway of the shop house. I say, soldier, what's happening? They've taken us straight from the city on a regular basis now. A nightly turnout, as it were. The soldier gestures vaguely toward the shattered storefronts across the street. Did you not notice the blue-note glazing? I should find a hole if I were you, and I'd do it sharply. The street lights suddenly go out. The soldier laughs. At least they learnt last time. Bally incompetents. On the first night, the governor left the lamps burning like a lighthouse. Didn't even have a compass. Bombers simply followed the lights straight to the targets. I don't know what this accent is. That actually happened. The soldier nods, crushing his cigarette under a battered boot. Now seek cover. They're nearly upon us. The air raid siren starts to wail. The thrumming begins, a low industrial vibration that rattles the teeth in their gums. The ground beneath the shophouse starts to shudder. The siren! Get under this table. It's a heavy teak table, it'll hold. Lune Goodwill and Rose Goodwill scramble under the table. Lucas Sterling holds on tight to them. Heavy thrumming of incoming engines vibrates in their teeth. Man, that's the second time about teeth vibrating so soon. The sound of bombs exploding get closer and closer. The blast wave shatters the remaining windows in the area. Glass shrapnel sprays all around them. The blast creates a vacuum that sucks the air out of the room, popping in their ears, replaced by a searing wall of heat and dust. A case of pulverized brick, ancient lime mortar, and cordite. Lune, are you intact? Lune Goodwill... That's a funny way of saying it. Lune Goodwill nods, a terrified look on her face. I cannot remain here to be buried alive. We must strike for the key. Let's get to the ship quickly. They stumble into the street. It is pandemonium. The sky is a sickly orange, and the air chokes them with the stench of burning rubber, cordite, and roasted spices from the hit warehouses. The Japanese raid used incendiary bombs. The wooden roofs of the shophouses are on fire. The auxiliary fire service are already on the scene, struggling with hand-drawn pumps. In the crush of the panicked mob, Lune Goodwill is torn from Lucas Sterling's grip by a surge of fleeing people. I say, pardon me! Madame, step aside! My sister, you have a care, you brute! Lucas Sterling tries to navigate the throng with the polite frustration of a gentleman at a crowded railway station, but he is woefully ineffective. Lune Goodwill is being swept further away into the darkness. Oh, for heaven's sake! Rose Goodwill shoves Lucas Sterling aside and plunges headlong into the throng. She delivers a sharp blow to a man blocking her path and kicks another squarely in the chin. Let's go, Rose! Rose is the best character, by the way. She's great. She was like, at the beginning of this, she was like contemplating suicide for some reason, and now she's just like, she's fucking done. It's great. Welcome in, Mario. Thank you for the first. Thank you for claiming the throne. Hope you're having a good one. Move it! Get out of my way! Lune! She grabs Lune Goodwill by the collar of her dress and hauls her back with the steely strength of a woman who has survived the Borneo bush. Come along, we are departing this instant! They sprint for the Keppel docks, scrambling up the steep gangway of the Blue Funnel merchantmen just as the mooring lines are cast off. As the ship pulls away, the black soot of the north begins to fall once more, coating the shivering survivors as Singapore burns behind them. Alright, was there a link that I missed here? Oh no, there was a new link. It was Malacca Strait. There we go. The water is shallow and cluttered with the wrecks of ships that didn't make it. Alright, so this day, I guess we should just check if it's just them. Yeah, it's okay, it's just them. The Blue Funnel Merchantman was a labyrinth of rust-streaked iron and coal smoke. Every inch of deck space was occupied by distressed British subjects, huddled on crates or disappearing on dirty blankets. The vessel moved with a heavy, rhythmic thump-thump of the engines, vibrating through the soles of their boots. It was a constant reminder that they were sitting on thousands of tons of cargo and fuel, a prime target for a Japanese torpedo. Lucas Sterling spent the first morning on the boat deck, scanning the horizon for the silver glint of periscopes. Good morning, sir. Quite an adventure, I must say. What's your story? My wife and I were in Borneo. We made it to Singapore, but only just. How about you? Borneo, eh? You chaps had it uncommonly quick. I spent 3 weeks dodging snipers in the Ulu before we scrambled for the causeway. The brass in Singapore told us the jungle was impassable. Impassable! The were riding bicycles through the thick of it, like they were on a Sunday jaunt in Hyde Park. It's the same story everywhere, I'm afraid. The Royal Navy is stretched thin. They've been caught out with their pants down. I saw the smoke over the strait when I pulled out. I felt as though the whole world was being put to the torch. Did you manage to salvage much? Or are you traveling on a Secretariat chitty like the rest of us DBS wretches? Lucas gestures vaguely toward the cabin. I had my wife and sister with me. We managed a few trinkets and the clothes on our backs. Beyond that, well, I suspect I'm starting from scratch once we hit Tilbury. Nods grimly. Question marks nods grimly. At least you've got your womanfolk intact. What a term. My mem was on the last pedo boat out in November. Pray heaven she made it to the galley face. The galley face was the most prestigious and evocative landmark in Colombo, Caelan? It consisted of 2 main parts, the Galface Green, a vast seaside promenade, and the iconic Galface Hotel. For Lucas, the Galface would have represented the first time he would truly feel back in civilization. Care for a nip? The non-slur version this time. It's some rather questionable brandy I managed to liberate from a Chinese shophouse in Singapore before the sirens started. It's got a kick like a mule, but it dulls the ache. Taking the flask. You're a prince among men. Taps and friends, eh? Taps and friends into a short war. When evening hits, the ship is entirely blacked out. No lights are permitted on deck. It would make too much of a target otherwise. Lucas Sterling walks into the cabin. Did you two have a good rest today? You needed it. Yes, I feel most refreshed. I also finished our rations from land. I fear my greatest challenge is yet to come tomorrow. Managing to keep the ship's fare down, greasy mutton and boiled cabbage. Rose Goodwill points to the railing outside their cabin. Lucas Sterling and Rose Goodwill step out. Leaning against the rail beside Rose Goodwill, I believe we've cleared the Malacca Strait without a tail. We strike from the open blue tonight. Taking a long, slow draw from a cigarette. Thank the stars for small mercies. Lune cried herself to sleep, poor girl. She's been through so much, but putting on such a brave face. We'll keep her safe. She's very strong-willed. She'll be okay. They stop the conversation when they hear Lune Goodwill joining them. Singapore's gone, isn't it? I looked back at noon. At noon. There was only the smoke. Wrapping an arm around Lune Goodwill's shoulders, pulling her close. Don't look back, little moon. Don't look back, little moon. There's nothing left for us in the east but cinders and shadows. From here on, we look to Blighty. Lucas? Yes, Lune? You're still wearing the ring. You haven't taken it off even since we left the key, even in the safety of the cabin. Lucas Sterling looks down at the gold band on his finger, then at Rose Goodwill in the twilight. A heavy, uncomfortable silence settles over them, louder than the thrumming of the engines. Alright. Next day. I think. Yes, the next day, yeah. The cabin is a stifling iron box, smelling of engine grease and scorched mutton. Rose Goodwill is vigorously scrubbing the soot-streaked porthole with a damp rag, while Lune Goodwill lies motionless on the lower bunk, her face the color of spoiled milk. Tossing the rag into a bucket with a wet thwack. There. At least now we might see the torpedo before it hits us. Lune, do sit up. You've spent the morning looking like a figurehead on a shipwreck. Clutching the string of pearls until her knuckles are white. The smell coming from the galley, it's positively medieval, Rose. How can they expect us to eat boiled cabbage in this heat? One eats what is put before one when one is a distressed British subject, my dear. It is called fortitude. Now, get off this wretched pallet and put on your dress. We're going on deck for tea. Tea? We're on a rust bucket in a war zone, and you're talking about social graces. Placing the gold band back on her finger with a sharp, decisive snap. Precisely. If we look like rabble, the authorities will treat us like rabble. In this part of the world, starched linen is the only thing standing between us and the abyss. We are the Sterling family now, and we shall play the part until the curtain falls on London. Lucas Sterling enters the cabin, his face tight with exhaustion, his white linen jacket stained with coal dust. The deck is crawling with people. It's so hard to get around without knocking people over. Miller from Johor, the old chap I was talking to yesterday, is pestering everyone for news, and the captain is grim as a tombstone. Rose Goodwill walking over and smoothing Lucas Sterling's lapel with an intimate practice touch. Steady on, husband dearest. You look as though you've been stoking the boilers yourself. Lune Goodwill watches the touch with a look of resentment. You're getting dreadfully good at that, Ms. Sterling. One might almost think you're enjoying the masquerade. Hush now, Lune. The tea won't wait, and neither will propriety. Later on the boat deck, the sky is a sickly, humid gray. Rose Goodwill sits regally in the rattan chair. Rattan? I don't know. A months-old copy of the Tatler open on her lap. Lucas Sterling stands behind her, his hand resting passively on the back of her chair, his eyes scanning the leaden horizon. Lune Goodwill leaning against the rail, staring at the white wake spooling beneath them. I feel like some of these are so descriptive that they should just be narration. I don't know why they're not. They're adding them as actions that the character is doing here. It looks like a shroud, doesn't it? Unrolling all the way back to Sandakan. If it's a shroud, then it's a funeral one, Lune. Have airfields in Kedah now. The entire state is now under Japanese control, and we're about to go past that coastline. If a Nell or a Betty stops our wake, we're in the soup. The Allied reporting names for the Nell or Betty. The Allied reporting names for the Japanese twin-engine bombers that patrolled the Malacca Strait. Rose Goodwill, turning a page of her magazine with a crisp rustle. Do not talk about something congenial, darling. The group of old women over by the lifeboat are watching us. They've already asked me where we were wed. I told them Singapore 3 years ago. St. Andrew's Cathedral. A tight, forced smile from Lucas. St. Andrew's, was it? You've a frightfully vivid imagination, Rose. She looks up at him, her eyes large and bright. See, this should just be narration. I don't know why it's not narration. Be a good sport and fetch me some of that ghastly, lukewarm water they're calling tea. My throat is parched. Lune Goodwill follows behind Lucas Sterling, her voice a hollow whisper. 3 years. You've erased my father in a single morning's chat. Lucas touches Lune Goodwill's arm, his voice dropping to a pained undertone. We haven't erased him, Lune. Until we hit the gal face, this farce is the only thing keeping us above the waterline. Steady the buffs, little moon, please. Lune Goodwill stares longingly at the sea, holding back tears. I'm steady, Lucas. It's the world that's going to drift. I miss Mother the most, but I did love my father too, you know. And he loved Rose. Please remember that. Don't sully his memory. Lucas Sterling gets 3 chipped enamel mugs of lukewarm grayish tea. Why am I reading it like that? Lucas Sterling gets 3 chipped enamel mugs of lukewarm grayish tea from the galley and starts heading back. Come now, Lune. Wipe those tears and have some tea with us. Lucas? Yes, little moon? Do you promise we will look for my brother the moment we set foot on the quayside? I give you my word of honor. I wonder why Lucas Sterling didn't keep that promise. Did something happen to them on the journey? Alright, so next day... Oh, my instincts tell me I've uncovered everything there is to see in this location. The remaining hours hold no secrets. Alright, the Blue Funnel Merchantman has finally emerged from the claustrophobic squeeze of the Malacca Strait. So this is the next day. The sea has opened into the Andaman Sea, a vast indigo expanse. For the first time in a week, The horizon of the east is clear of the smoke of burning Malaya. Malaya? Lucas Sterling is on the deck. Looking around at the horizon, he can see the Nicobar Islands. These islands are being reinforced by the British in a desperate attempt to create a defensive line. Lucas is relieved. This area is still under British control, and seeing that landmark brings him hope that they have a chance of survival. It is Christmas Day, 1941. In their cramped four-bunk cabin... Cabin? Oh. When did you do the watch streak? I missed that. Did you do that just now? I don't know. But thank you for the watch streak, Paper Mario. It's been 30 days since you were lost in the walls. How are you still in the walls when the house was demolished? I am calling shenanigans. Are you in a ghost house? Alright. In their cramped four-bunk cabin, Rose Goodwill has performed a minor miracle with a few scraps of silver cigarette foil and a string of dried hibiscus flower she bartered from a deckhand. Lucas Sterling returns to the cabin, wiping his brow with a gray-stained handkerchief. Wait, what's she doing with this? Scraps of silver cigarette foil and a string of dried hibiscus flowers. Like, is she smoking it? The captain tells me we put Sumatra behind us. We're in the Andaman now, striking the west for the Gal face. Thank the stars. A bit of luck at last. Lune Goodwill is sitting on the edge of the bunk, looking more alive than she has in Singapore. Is it true, Lucas? Are we truly away from the and the airfields? We're beyond the range of the Kedra bombers at any rate. We've still the submarines to consider, but the open blue is a sight better than the death trap of a strait. Alright, Rose produces a dented tin from beneath her bed. Then I declare a double celebration. One for the captain and crew of this fine vessel, and one for Father Christmas. Lune gasps. Rose! Is that plum pudding? Don't ask me what I had to trade for it. It's a bit battered, and heaven knows it won't be hot. But it's Christmas in a tin. Lucas grins as he produces a bottle with a handwritten label. And I've secured some celebration spirits from my friend Miller from Johor. It's strong enough to strip the paint off the hull, but it'll serve for a Yuletide toast. Lucas pours the dark, pungent rum into 3 chipped enamel mugs. The blue funnel merchantman rolls gently, the first hint of the Bay of Bengal swell. So that's our next location. Lucas raises his mug, taps at friends. Lune touches the pearls at her throat. To Papa and Mama. Rose... Wait, I can't say that. To absent friends and to us, the Sterling family, may we reach Tilbury before the gin runs out. Lune takes a tiny sip and coughs. Heavens! It's like drinking a lightning bolt! Lucas laughs. That's the spirit of the Empire! Rose slices the cold pudding with a pocket knife. You think they're listening to the king's speech back home? Around a fire with real holly and proper snow? I expect they are, though I imagine His Majesty has a deal to say about the current unpleasantness to the east. Rose hands a slab of pudding to Lune. Tidapa, Lucas, for tonight, we shall pretend that we are at the savory. No soot rain, no sirens, and certainly no pirates. Just a pucker Christmas in the middle of the ocean. Lune chews the rich, fruity pudding, a tear finally escaping and rolling down her cheek. It's the best thing I've ever tasted. Lucas leans back against the iron bulkhead and watches them. It's a start, isn't it? A few days of clear weather and a bit of duff. We might just have a go at this, Rose. Duff is slang for Christmas pudding. Rose meets his eyes over the rim of her mug, her mouth softening for just a second. You're incorrigible, Mr. Lucas. Don't get sentimental. It doesn't suit the husbandly image. Be a sport and pour me another tot of that vile firewater. I have a Christmas spirit to maintain. Alright. So, Bay of Bengal next. Is it still them? Nope, there's more. Oh, never mind. Next day. The blue funnel merchantman is wallowing through the Bay of Bengal. Alright. My instincts tell me I've uncovered everything there is to see in this location. The remaining hours hold no secrets. Hours, she says, but these are days. Delphine, you need to update your language. It's no longer it's no longer December 16, 1941, okay? It's now December 27, 1941. 27? Yes. You are out of date, girl. The blue funnel merchantman is wallowing through the Bay of Bengal, far from the sight of land. They are being escorted along with a dozen other ships by the British Navy destroyer. The northeast monsoon has turned the sea into a shifting landscape of large waves that crash the blue funnel merchantman unceremoniously. The ship is pitching violently. It's also yawing. After a day of constant vomiting, Lune Goodwill has finally succumbed to a heavy seasick sleep in the lower bunk. Lucas Sterling and Rose Goodwill have left her to rest and are in the galley getting some tea. Rose Goodwill braces herself as she tries to pour a measure of water. I've had enough of this stupid boat swaying like a drunkard. I swear my internal organs have switched places. Lucas Sterling is attempting to steady the small table. The monsoon in the Bay of Bengal is traitorous, but we should clear it soon and arrive at Colombo, a new location. This is when we shall finally be able to relax, leaving both the storm and the finally behind us. You've remained unnervingly calm throughout this ordeal, Lucas. It's a part of the SIS training. Learning how to remain shipshape while the world goes to the dogs. That's not training, it's life. I've lived through some harrowing moments. Once you've seen your whole crew get murdered in front of you while you are helpless, you realize that fretting is a waste of a man's final hours. Suddenly, a thunderous explosion shakes the hull. It's not an explosion on board, but a depth charge dropped by their escort destroyer a mile away. The emergency gong begins to clang, a frantic, brassy riot. That's the submarine alarm! Rose, get your life belt! Now, I'll go find Lune! Panic erupts in the passageway outside, screams, the thunder of boots, the sharp whistles of the crew. In the chaos, Rose Goodwill stumbles as the ship takes a massive roll. Lucas Sterling... Oh, so they've got the pitch and the roll. Now they just need the yaw. Lucas Sterling catches her, his arms wrapping around her waist, hitting her against his chest to keep her from falling. The blue funnel merchantman is still rolling. Dishes and bottles are clattering and clashing all around him as they fall from tables and shelves. Hold on to me. Don't let go. If we hit the water, stay with me. Do you hear? I mean, I think Rose should have been the one to get Lune, just because Lucas isn't gonna punch a guy out like she did. For a long minute, they stand locked together, the thumping of Lucas Sterling's heart echoing against Rose Goodwill's ribs. Oh wait, weren't you trying to find Lune? Why are you still with Rose? I guess he's helping. The blue funnel merchantman rights itself slowly. The muffled explosions of the depth charges continue in the distance, but the all clear eventually sounds. The threat is past. Their eyes catch together for a split second, then Rose Goodwill puts herself back together. You can let go now. I'll be quite alright. They return to the cabin, the adrenaline leaving them trembling and spent. Lune Goodwill stirs in her sleep but doesn't wake. Lucas Sterling sinks onto a crate, his head in his hands. Rose sits beside him and puts her arm around him comfortingly. That was positively harrowing. Where's your unnerving calm now? I lied. I hold it all in the moment, but it just comes out even harder when it's all over. Look at my hand. Look. Lucas Sterling lifts his right arm and his hand is shaking uncontrollably. Do people actually do that? I know people on like YouTube do that. And I was like, look, I'm shaking, and they put their hand up. I've never seen anyone actually do that in real life, though. Do people say that? It's look how scared I was. Shows shaking. You show them your goosebumps. Like, I've got goosebumps. I don't know if anyone he actually puts their hand up and be like, I'm shaking so much. Look. Anyway, and today it was worse. I kept thinking of you and Lune. I did not care what happened to me, but it was hurting my heart so much to think something had happened to either of you. I'm sorry, Rose. You should be enjoying your life, not waiting to be gutted by a torpedo in the middle of nowhere. Rose touches his hand, her gold band glinting in the dim light. I was not happy at that plantation, Lucas. I was dying in a different way back in Borneo. Rose Goodwill is trying to compose herself before she can say the next part. Her voice is trembling as she tries to hold back the tears. I had contemplated ending it all on numerous occasions, you know? I had even penned a farewell note out of desperation and a need to feel noticed, to feel loved. She sighs. At least here, I feel vivid, even if I am scared out of my wits. You're more pluck than any agents I've worked with in the East. Hi, Fire. How's it going? What's Starset Island? I've never heard of that. Tell me about it. We're currently following the journey of these 3 survivors of a, I guess, a multitude of things that happened on their plantation in Borneo. I guess it wasn't their plantation. They're just related to the person who owned it. And also one guy who was like a SIS agent. I don't know what SIS is, but it seems like some sort of secret agency thing. Stardew and Animal Crossing the anime. I see. Isn't Stardew already the anime? Isn't... No. Stardew is like the, is like Harvest Moon, which is the anime. Yeah, this is like kind of like the post game, I guess. It's like the second half. Oh, thank you for the follow, Crayquilt. Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're doing well. And feel free to also just lurk if you want to. You don't have to respond. Oh, Fire sent you. Welcome in. Thanks, Fire. Was it? But anyway, hope you're having a good one. We're doing a mystery, not mystery, a deduction game. I guess there's no mystery going on right now. I don't know, like, so the creator of the game, Bushmonkey, let me know in the comments that we were about halfway when we finished on Tuesday, but so far it seems to be a lot going on right now. So it's possible that there's gonna be something else that's gonna happen that's gonna crack this thing open. But for now, it's pretty smooth sailing. Well, it's not smooth for them. They're facing, like, this takes place during World War II, so there's lots of explosions, and they're Pacific right now, so lots of explosions and stuff going on, lots of running away. So yeah. Now, welcome in, Cray. Or would you prefer Quilt? All right. Let's see, where was it? You've more pluck than any agents I've worked with in the East. Rose leans her hand against his shoulder, her voice a soft, honest whisper. What is the plan when we get to London, truly? What's in your heart? There's no true plan, just to keep both of you safe for as long as possible. But now, after these last few weeks... Lucas Sterling remains silent for a while, stroking his ring. I spent 10 years playing the Ghost Rose. No ties, no heart. But looking at you on that deck, I realized I didn't want to cross the bar alone. Rose closes her eyes. You aren't alone. Alright, so now we go to the next place in Colombo. Colombo, okay, so... I will find it very funny if Colombo is the location where a mystery starts, but we know what the twist is at the beginning. Just as an homage to our dear friend Colombo. Alright, okay. Nothing happened at this hour. Oh, wait. I just clicked the wrong time. Alright, so this is New Year's Eve. Oh! There's more people here. We don't know who's here yet. Alright. So this is a partial echo. So... I'm not gonna really... Well, I guess we're intended to know what's going on here. So, we're hearing only Lucas's dialogue because he's holding on to a bottle of a biohazard. He was, like, doing research into... Or he was looking into Japanese chemical warfare during World War II, and so he has a sample of the biohazard. And our character has... Like, the reason we're able to do this is our character has psychic abilities, and one of our abilities is to, hear what a person who's holding an item is, what they're saying at the time while they're holding the item. So here we're channeling through the biohazard sample to hear what Lucas is saying. Alright. Lucas fixes up his shirt. Keep your chins up, both of you. We have managed the Andaman, and now comes the challenge of the Admiralty red tape. If we keep our composure, we should be able to navigate the paperwork checks. It's a long story. Rose Goodwill and Cynthia Seville laugh heartily as Lucas Sterling blushes. Alright. We've had our fun. But I have some pressing issue to discuss. We're DBS. Distressed British something or other. Cynthia, on a blue funnel merchantman, Cynthia. Full of refugees, and we're carrying delicate cargo. Cynthia's here. How'd she get here? Alright, so I guess she's just here now. Alright, here's the full thing. Alright. The merchant ship docks at Colombo on New Year's Eve. The docks are absolutely bedlam. Thousands of Ceylonese laborers are hauling coal baskets, while British MPs in red caps bark orders at a line of dejected-looking refugees. Alright, Lucas fixes up his shirt. Keep your chins up, both of you. We've managed the Andaman. Now comes the challenge of the Admiralty red tape. If we keep our composure, we should be able to navigate the paperwork checks. Rose adjusts her straw hat. It looks like something the cat dragged in, Lucas. If the Gallowface sees me in this reach-me-down dress, they'll send me straight to the scullery. Lune Goodwill clutches her pearls, her eyes wide with the scale of the city. Alright, so, also another note. So, these characters that survived, so Lune and Rose are not related directly. Lune is the daughter of Rose's husband, who was the owner of the plantation, but from his first wife, who died on the plantation earlier in this game. Lucas is a secret agent, as I mentioned, and currently they're, in order to smooth their passage, they're pretending that Lucas is Lune's brother, and that Lucas and Rose are married. Just so we're clear about what's happening. So Lune clutches her pearls, her eyes wide with the scale of the city. Look at the soldiers, Rose! So many of them! Are we all going to be alright? As they clear the customs shed, a sharp, familiar voice cuts through the din of the shouting vendors and hissing steam. Rose! Mr. SIS! Little Lune! Good heavens, you look like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards. She's also a secret agent, but she was disguising herself as a lawyer, as an attorney. Or like I don't know, she was a law person for the person on the plantation. But that was her cover. They spin around to see Cynthia Seville. She's a striking contrast to their ruin. She is in crisp tropical whites, a service armband on her sleeve, her hair pinned back with military precision. Cynthia, you're intact! I'm so happy to see you! Intact and on duty, Rose. When the Navy pulled us out of that Borneo inferno, Delphine says, I wonder how Cynthia's journey went. I know my benefactor has no need... So Delphine's our main character, our protagonist. I wonder how Cynthia's journey went. I know my benefactor has no need or no want to have that information. Miss Seville could yet prove useful to me. I could probably check in on her. I'm sure I can sense her journey in my mind's eye if I concentrate. So Delphine, not protagonist, she's our player character. Alright. Imagine my surprise when I saw Mrs. SIS on the manifest. It's a long story. Not that long, he just fancied himself the husband type. Rose Goodwill and Cynthia Seville laugh heartily as Lucas Sterling blushes. Alright. We've had our fun, but I have some pressing issue to discuss. We're DBS, Cynthia, on a blue funnel merchantman full of refugees, and we're carrying delicate cargo. Cynthia's gaze flickers to the pocket where Lucas hides is hiding the vial. I suspected as much. I have a staff car, awaiting on the quay. We'll get your husband, the harbor guards, and straight to the Gallowface. Lune steps forward timidly. Miss Cynthia, did you bury them? My mother and father? Are they at peace? Please tell me they were. Cynthia Seville looks at the girl, her face softening for a brief pained second. She reaches out and touches Lune Goodwill's shoulder. I saw a great deal of bravery that night, Lune. And you were the bravest of them all. We quelled the fires, and I made sure they were all buried with dignity by the chapel. Only poor Vitalina and Mr. Bonfire were too charred to bury, and we sent them to the great beyond in the sea. Keep your chin up. You're with us now. Lune buries her face deep in Cynthia's chest. Thank you, Miss Cynthia. Later on the Gallowface Green. The sun is setting on New Year's Eve. The Grand Lawn is covered in anti-aircraft pits and sandbags, but the Gallowface Hotel still stands like a red-tiled fortress against the sea. After the luxury of a proper porcelain bath, Lune Goodwill and Rose Goodwill emerge, looking and feeling so much better. Cynthia has retrofitted them in smart floral rayon day dresses and braided straw skimmers. My brain was attempting to interpret all of this as brain rot text. So I was like, there's like braided straw maxers. Rayon day dress coded. That's all my brain is seeing from that. There is so much density in that text there. Their dignity restored by a fresh change of clothes that made their Singapore vagabond days feel like a lifetime away. Ladies, you're looking positively a treat. A Scooby snack, even. Thank you so much, Lucas. Oh, and to you too, Miss Cynthia. Don't mention it, Little Moon. You're most welcome. They're sitting on the veranda, 4 survivors with stengas in hand. The Indian Ocean roars against the seawall, a sound that finally feels like protection rather than a threat. Cynthia leans in closer, her voice a low murmur. The news is grim, SIS. Hong Kong has fallen. Singapore is under a shroud of fire, as you know. They're calling this the blackest new year in the history of the Empire. All the more reason to get the sample of to Whitehall. If the Japanese are using green mist in the Sulu Sea, the War Office needs to know before they strike the Indies. Rose watches the British officers in the lobby, her hand resting on Lucas's. But tonight, can we not be agents? Can we not be refugees? It is New Year's Eve, and we are above the waterline. Cynthia raises her glass, a wry smile on her face. Well said, Rose. To Goodwill Plantation, made one day rise from the ash, and to the Sterling family. You've played the charade well enough to fool even the master attendant. Lune touches her pearls, looking out to the sea. To the new year. May it be shorter than the last. As the midnight gongs begin to echo from the ships in the harbor, the blackout remains total. There are no fireworks, only the sweeping, rhythmic sweep of a searchlight across the water, looking for the shadows that are coming for them all. Alright, let's see if they're still here. They are. Alright, and there's nothing more. My instincts tell me I've uncovered everything there is to see in this location. The remaining hours hold no secrets. Alright. The next morning, Cynthia Seville takes them to a cool room in the Galaface Hotel. The room is filled with chests and crates, and Cynthia Seville unlocks the first chest with a crisp snap of the latches. I've had my people raid the Admiralty stores and the local apothecaries. You're entering the most treacherous leg of the journey, and I'll not have you arriving at Tilbury looking like shivered specters. Take as much as you need. Rose runs a hand over a heavy tan-colored fabric. Is this Burberry? Cynthia Seville says, Garbandine trench coats for the lot of you. They're the civilian pattern, but lined with wool fleece. You've been in the 90-degree heat of Borneo for years. The Atlantic in February will feel like a literal slap in the face. Put them on the moment you clear the Suez. Lucas, inspect a small wooden crate. And the provisions, Cynthia? The merchantman's galley is already beginning to reek of rancid fat. Cynthia produces a silver tin. Horlick's malted milk tablets. The RAF boys use them. I also packed several jars of Bovril. A cup of hot beef tea will do more for your fortitude in a storm than a bottle of gin. Lune picks up a small brown glass bottle. What's this one? It smells sharp. Cynthia says, Hyoscine tablets. The Bay of Bengal was merely a warm-up. The Arabian Sea can be devilish this time of year. If the horizon starts to tilt, take one every 6 hours. It'll make your mouth feel like a Sahara dust storm, but it'll keep your stomach where it belongs. Quietly, Lucas says, and the quinine? I don't know what it said. Cynthia's voice drops an octave. Already? Or, like, even more?
I've secured a fresh supply of tabloids, enough to last until you hit London. The Mediterranean damp often...
Why is she dropping her voice an octave? She dropping it to a whisper?
The Mediterranean damp often brings the malarial shakes back with a vengeance. Keep the dose regular, Lucas. No heroics.
Anyway, she points to the final chest. Lastly, British Army wool blankets. They're rough as a badger's back, but they're pure wool. Wrap yourself in them once you hit the Red Sea nights. The desert air is deceptive. Rose looks at the mountain of gear, then at Cynthia. You've turned us into a walking supply depot, Cynthia. Do they say depot? Depot in British? Like ballot? Anyway, Cynthia Seville. Do they say ballot or did they say ballet? I don't know British English. Cynthia offers a rare, tight smile. I've turned you into survivors, Rose. You're already striking for Burma. And the U-boats are thick as lice in the Freetown corridor. You're carrying a sample of death in your pocket. Least the service can do is ensure you have a warm coat and a steady stomach when you deliver it. My only concern is that this bounty will draw the eye of every desperate soul on that deck. We're immensely grateful, Cynthia, don't mistake me. But we must tread warily from here on. We'll need to keep our heads down and try to pack it in as small a crate as possible. Violette? Well, I'm staking my claim on the gabardines and the blankets. I've no intention of arriving in London as a human icicle. And I shall want the malted milk in Bovril. Which means you shall just handle carrying it all for us, darling husband. Aye, aye, Mrs. Sterling. Alright, so there's no more here. If we concentrate on... Okay, so Cynthia's got more. So we can go here after, if we get stuck in this area. Alright. So in the Arabian Sea, Cynthia's doing other stuff. Alright, Lucas Sterling has rigged a makeshift veranda using 2 of the British Army wool blankets draped over a spare spar to provide shade. Rose Goodwill and Lune Goodwill are seated on the remaining blankets, which cover the rough iron of the hatch. Rose lazily fans herself with a tattered copy of the Tatler. Do hurry it along, Mr. Sterling. I've a positively feline craving for a cup of Bovril. I never thought I'd see the day when a meat extract was the height of luxury. But here it is. Lune pops a Horlicks tablet into her mouth and crunches contentedly. It's like eating a malted cloud rose. I'd forgotten things could taste like... Oh, like things other than boiled mutton and salt. Lucas pours steaming water into 3 mugs. Here we are. Bovril tea a la Cynthia. It's thick enough to float a coin in, but it'll put the iron back in your blood. As they sip the salty brew, a dozen flying fish burst from the water. Gliding over the surface, one lands with a wet thwack into the cabin floor. Into the cabin floor. Into? I guess it thwacks into it. Lune gasps, then erupts into a fit of giggles. Lucas! We have an uninvited guest for tea! Lucas chuckles as the flaps frantically. I say, do you have your papers with you, little fish? Or are you a clandestine on our fine ship? Rose jumps up dramatically and grabs Lune by the arms. Quickly, Lune! He's a scout for the king of the sea. We must return him to his watery kingdom before he dries out. Rose and Lune both reach for the slippery fish and it slips through their hands, and for a chaotic moment they're both squealing with laughter as the fish eludes them, sliding across the floor. Finally, they scoop it up together and fling it back into the sea. Lune swipes a stray tear of laughter from her cheek. Oh, did you see his eyes? He looked positively affronted. Rose smooths the girl's hair. It's a capital omen, little moon. I didn't know fish could fly. I'd read about them in my picture books. I'd never dreamt I'd have one in my lap. Rose squeezes her hand. When we hit London, I shall spoil you rotten. I shall take you to Selfridge's, and we shall buy the most scandalous hats in the building. We'll look like screen sirens, and we'll make my darling husband carry all the boxes until he groans for mercy. I shall carry them with pride, my dear, though I suspect I'll need more than malted milk to survive a trip to the shops with the 2 of you. Rose reaches into the crate and pulls out one of the gabardine trench coats. She drapes it over Lune Goodwill's legs like a heavy quilt. There, a bit of Burberry to keep the evening chill off. We're going home in style, Lune. Keep your pecker up. She has a pecker? I see. Lune snuggles into the fleece lining. I'm keeping it up, Rose. I truly am. Alright, so the next day, Lucas Sterling and Rose Goodwill have gone to the upper deck to join the water queue, leaving Lune Goodwill alone in the stifling cabin. What a fishy situation. It's true. She is slumped on the lower berth, her skin sallow and slick with sweat. weakly fanning herself with a limp handkerchief. Scent of a Bovril tea Lune Goodwill drank earlier still clings to the air. Lune Goodwill notices a shadow under the door that lingers there for a while. Then there's a sharp and insistent rattle at the door handle. Aren't they on a ship? Who else could it possibly be? Oh no. Did they get invaded by something? Pirates? Oh no. Rose, Lucas, is that you? The door shoved open with a violent crack. Two men standing there looking menacing. Oh yeah, I told you. Proper rations. Lune Goodwill screams, scrambling back against the wall. One of the men tries to calm her down. We're not starving, missy. My wife hasn't kept a bit of ship's fare down in 3 days. We just want a bit of your food. Share it with us. The other spots the box of Bovril and reaches out. Lune lunges for the small crate, her voice rising in terror. No, what we have! Lucas! Rose! The rough man steps forward and roughly wrenches Lune Goodwill's hand away from the crate. He shoves her back onto the mattress. Lune sobs. Please, be smart. We've lost everything too. The man snatches the Bovril and the silver tin of Horlicks. You've lost everything, have you? You have a cabin and a father in a staunch shirt. We're sleeping in the muck by the boilers. We'll take a fair share of the Empire's bounty. It's our turn. The two men run out, disappearing into the crowded corridor before Lune Goodwill can even scream again. 10 minutes later, Lucas and Rose return carrying a single lukewarm carafe of water. Carafe? I don't know. They find the cabin door broken and Lune Goodwill curled in a ball on the floor, weeping silently. Rose drops the water in shock. Lune! Lucas looks around and outside the cabin for any clues. Good God, what happened? Lune, speak to me. Did they hurt you? Lune chokes on her tears, gesturing toward the crate. They took it. The Bovril, the malted milk. I tried to stop them, Rose, but I was too weak. Lucas looks at the empty crate, his face hardening. The evil vultures. They must have smelt it through the vents. Rose's eyes burn with rage. She's gonna kick some people's butt. She's gonna kick them in the shins. In other places. It's not just the food, Lucas. They had laid hands on her in a British ship under the King's colors. We are being picked apart by our own. I'll not have this. I'm going to find the Master-at-Arms. We may be DBS, but we are still human beings, and I'll see these scoundrels in irons before the sun sets on this wretched sea. Steady on. You'll merely inflame the situation. We need to keep our heads down and keep our mouths shut. Now, sis, let's talk of a scrap, and be the family man I need right now, and come console Lune. Alright, so the next day, the sweltering wet heat of the tropics is finally evaporated, replaced by a dry, biting chill that rolls off the desert sands at night. On deck, the wind carries the scent of dust and ancient stone. So, my instincts tell me I've uncovered everything there is to see in this location. The remaining hours hold no secrets. And I'm gonna go drink some water, because there's a lot of reading. Lucas, Rose, and Lune are huddled together in the sheltered side of the deck, wrapped in the rough, heavy wool of the British Army blankets Cynthia Seville provided. Rose huddles closer to Lucas, her breath hitching in the cold. Never thought I'd pine over the humidity of Sandakan, but this wind is positively glacial. I can't feel my nose. I've never felt so cold. Is this what England is like? Lucas adjusts the blanket around Lune's shoulders. Only on a good day, little moon. By the time we hit the English Channel, you'll think this was a summer jaunt. Rose slaps Lucas Sterling's back hard. Don't tease her like that. She'll believe you and never want to go. I'm only mildly exaggerating. She'll have to get used to it. I can never get used to this. I shall be wearing big woolly coats and blankets and hats all the time, and thick leather gloves. Drink some tea. It'll warm you up. I know it's not Bovril, but it'll keep the cold away. Lune sighs, her eyes fixed on the stars. I'd give a sovereign just for one of those malted milks right now, just to make the tea taste better. You know, there is one rule I've always lived by. Never keep all your eggs in one basket. Rose narrows her eyes. Lucas, what are you playing at? Lucas reaches into the inner pocket of his jacket and produces his silver Dunhill cigarette case. He snaps it open, and instead of cigarettes, there's 3 white chalky discs, sitting nestled against the silver lining. Lune gives a sharp, delighted gasp. Oh, Lucas, you scoundrel, you hid some! I slipped a few into my case the moment Cynthia handed them over. A bit of insurance for a rainy day, or in this case, a freezing night in the Arabian Sea. Rose pops the tablet into her mouth. My dear Mr. Sterling, you are a prince among men. A deucedly sneaky prince, but a prince nonetheless. Lune crunches contentedly. It makes the tea almost bearable. Thank you, Lucas. Lucas Sterling, wrapping his arm around both of them, pulled the family against the winds. We shall all pull through. We'll clear the Suez Canal in 3 days, and then we'll be within reach of home. You're not gonna block the Suez Canal? Lune snuggles into the blankets, her eyes drooping. Can you talk of the train to London? Tell me again about the fog and the big clocks. Alright, Suez Canal time! Oh, nothing happened. Clicked the wrong time. Lucas, Rose, and Lune stand at the rail of the boat deck. The horizon is no longer the infinite blue of the Indian Ocean, but a narrow ribbon of water cutting through the Sinai Desert. And it looks like there's nothing else here. I'm not going to read Delphine's lines for that anymore. Rose pulls her silk wrap tight around her shoulders. Good heavens! I'd quite forgotten that air could feel sharp. It's like a slap in the face after years of being boiled alive. It's the desert, Rose. We're in Egypt now. The Orient is officially behind us. Lune points toward the shoreline. Look! They're camels! Real camels! Lucas notices a rusted, jagged mass of a sunken merchantman sticking out of shallow water near the bank. We're out of reach. But we're in Mussolini's backyard now. A small, flat-bottomed boat pulls alongside the blue funnel merchantman. A man in a fez scrambles up a rope ladder. A crowd of refugees gathers as he reaches the deck. Who's this? I suspect he's a gully man, a performer. They're common in these parts, coming up to entertain folks for a few coins. Rose gives a rare, genuine laugh that breaks through her cynicism. The gully men. I've heard the old hands at the club talk about them when I was young. Never thought I'd see the day. The gully man is a magician and approaches Lune Goodwill, his hands moving in a blur. He reaches behind the girl's ear and pulls out a tiny, live yellow chick. Lune gasps with delight. How did he? Look, he's perfectly real! Lucas tosses a small silver coin to the magician. Well done, good man. The 3 of them stand together, watching the magician's absurd tricks as the desert sun begins to dip. Lucas hands a gabardine trench coat to Lune. Put this on, little moon. It's got some weight to it, but you'll thank me for it by nightfall. It's so heavy, I feel like a soldier. Rose dons her own trench coat. Look, we're all soldiers now, Lune. She looks at Lucas as he pulls on his own coat. This look suits you. He reaches out and adjusts her collar, his touch lingering for a second. We've the Mediterranean Sea to contend with next. It is likely to get hairy as we get closer to the Huns and the Italians. Alright. And what is going to happen to them? Because they never did contact her actual brother. Oops. Oh god, Gibraltar. Let's just click that now. The Mediterranean air bites with a sudden chill. Lucas Sterling, Rose Goodwill, and Lune Goodwill are huddled in the deck, their Burberry collars turned up against the spray. The blue funnel merchantman is part of a small frantic convoy now, flanked by 2 elderly V-class destroyers. VL-class destroyers? Let's go! Rose ties a silk scarf over her hat to keep it from taking flight. The mood on this boat has shifted very quickly. Even the stewards look as though they're waiting for the death sentence. Lucas nods toward the horizon, his eyes masked by the brim of his hat. They've reason to be. I had word with signals officer near the wireless room. Marseille. I don't know how to say Marseille. I'm so bad at saying it. It's effectively a Boche harbor now. Bokeh? Boch? And Vichy is playing a double game. Our only sanctuary is the rock Gibraltar. Lune shivers despite the heavy wool of her coat. Gibraltar? Is it far? 1,000 miles of open target practice, little moon. We have to thread the needle between Sicily and Tunisia. That's the gauntlet. The Italians have the tin-pot submarines lurking in the deeps, and the Luftwaffe can reach us from the airfields in the north within 30 minutes. Rose lights a cigarette with a steady hand, shielding the flame from the wind. So, from the frying pan of Borneo to the fire of the Mediterranean Sea, it's getting through challenges and gauntlets just becoming our daily life, Lucas. I know I've said this countless times throughout our journey, but this is really the most dangerous part. The Huns are desperate to cut the Suez lifeline. Every merchantman that finds the bottom is a victory for Jerry. We'll be sailing in a permanent zigzag from here to the Atlantic. Lune looks at the escort destroyer. Can that little boat truly stop a bomber? I don't have much faith in our escorts. They couldn't have provided any older relics if they tried. Rose exhales a plume of smoke. Well, I've already survived the Japanese landing, an air raid bombing, and living in a tiny sardine can with you and Lune for weeks. I'm in no mood to be interrupted by an Italian torpedo. Lucas says, "Oh, thanks for claiming the throne, Fire. And for ringing the daily door. Well, I gotta turn on the lights anyway." It's been cold here in my location for some reason. Oh, thanks for throwing something at me. Much appreciated. Anyway. I'm in no mood to be interrupted by an Italian torpedo. I promise you this, you and Lune will be in the first boat lowered if we do get hit. I'll see you to the brook if I have to swim the bally distance myself. Alright, Rose kisses him on the cheek, her voice dropping its cynical edge. Don't be a martyr. It doesn't suit the husband I've grown accustomed to. Just keep us above the waterline. A siren sounds from the lead destroyers, the signal to change course. The merchantman begins its first zigzag maneuver into the heart of the Mediterranean Sea. High in the northern sky, 3 silver specks emerge from the sun's glare. The ship erupts into chaos. The emergency gong clangs incessantly. Lucas, Rose, and Lune are thrown against the iron wall as the blue funnel merchantman makes a violent, desperate turn. Stuckus! Get to the center of the deck! Stay away from the glass! Stuckus refer to the Junkers, just Ju-87? Junkers U-87, I guess. A famous German dive bomber and ground attack aircraft used by the Luftwaffe in World War II. Alright. The roar of the engines becomes a shrieking whistle. A second later, a stunning concussive blast rocks the ship. A bomb has found the forward crane, sending a geyser of fire and splintered timber into the air. The escort destroyers are firing with all their might, guns spitting bullets all over the horizon. One of the junkers disintegrates in midair. A second plane, its wing clipped, spirals down in a screaming arc of smoke. The attack lasts only minutes, but the aftermath is a landscape of agony. The remaining Nazi plane flees north, chased by the destroyer's shells. The deck is a shamble of charred iron and wounded refugees. Lucas Sterling and Rose Goodwill step onto the deck to take stock of the destruction. Sailors are running around barking orders. Rose, help with fetching sand buckets. Rose discards her coat and rolls up her sleeves. Right you are! Lucas Sterling and Rose Goodwill plunge headfirst into the fray. They join a frantic fire party of sailors and planters. While Lucas helps out with plugging a leak, Rose works hard, passing heavy iron buckets of sand to smother the flames. In the galley, which has been turned into a makeshift dressing station, Lune Goodwill is on her knees, her floral dress ruined, ripping long strips of white linen from a salvaged tablecloth to turn into dressings. She hands the strips to a ship surgeon who is tending to a sailor with a shrapnel-torn shoulder. Lune looks away from the blood, not quite ready for that yet. Rose enters the galley. Lune, oh, there you are. Thank heavens you're unhurt. We couldn't find you. I'm helping, Rose. There isn't enough lint. I've already used up the tablecloths I could find. I'm starting on the napkins now. Yeah, give me the other... wait. Rose takes a pair of shears and joins Lune on the floor. Here, give me the other end. We'll strip the whole room bare if we have to. Lucas Sterling walks in, covered in soot and sweat. He sees the 2 women, his eyes reflecting a profound sense of pride and respect. I'll go get you girls some tea. Alright, then next, I guess they finally hit Gibraltar? Eventually? The Rock, the first sanctuary in Europe. So this is... January 24th, 4 days later. After the terrors of the Mediterranean, alright, there's nothing else in this location. The site of Gibraltar feels like the first true sanctuary in Europe, where they can finally put their guard down. Thanks to Cynthia Seville's connections, the family is not sent to the crowded refugee camp in the racecourse. Instead, they are tucked away in a requisitioned flat in the old town. The room is Spartan, smelling of damp limestone and floor wax. A small coal fire illuminates the room, the first real hearth they've seen in months. Lune Goodwill is already asleep in the small annex, exhausted by the journey. Lucas Sterling and Rose Goodwill sit before the fire. Rose Goodwill is extending her hands toward the heat, her gold band reflecting the orange glow. I'm not sure I shall ever be warm again, Lucas. This dreadful rock is a refrigerator. The Atlantic Rose is purifying. They sit awkwardly in silence for a while. We've cleared the Mediterranean. The Secretariat isn't watching us here. We could uncouple the train now, if you wished. You can take off the ring. He meets her gaze. Is that what you want, Rose? She stares into the fire. I find I've lost the script, Lucas. I've spent years in Borneo playing the bored mem, and then weeks on that rust bucket playing your devoted wife. I'm sure I don't know who I am or what I'm feeling anymore. I'll tell you who is there. A woman with more moxie than any agent in the service. A woman who kept her Polish while the world burned. A woman I truly respect and admire. More than admire. Lucas leans closer to Rose Goodwill. I told you in the Bay of Bengal that I didn't want to cross the bar alone. I wasn't playing then, Rose. I haven't been playing for a long time. Rose turns in her chair to face him. We are getting into a steamy scene here. Her eyes searching his. Are you truly keen on me? Or is this just that fever of escape? Lucas takes her hand, his thumb tracing the ring he gave her in Singapore. It's not the fever. I've been carrying a torch for you for a long time now, while you were looking at me as if you knew exactly what a scoundrel I was. They've known each other for what? A month? Month and a half? When you look at me as if you knew exactly what a scoundrel I was. I don't want to be your intended for the manifests anymore, Rose. I want to be your husband when we get to Tilbury Docks. For real. A soft, jagged laugh escapes Rose. You absolute fool. You could have any number of eligible women. Why a broken planter's widow from a graveyard of a plantation? Lucas leans in for a kiss. Rose responds in kind, her hands finding his bare chest under his sweater. He leads her out, toward the small bed in the corner. Outside, a searchlight sweeps across the window, illuminating them for a second before plunging the room back into the warm, private amber of the fire. And then, finally, Tilbury Docks! Home, but everything has changed. The arrival is not the triumphant return to the mother country they had envisioned during those sweltering nights in the Malacca Strait. London is a world of ashen gray and charcoal. The shoreline is a jagged silhouette of skeletonized warehouses and bomb craters. Good heavens! What have they done to the city? One of the sailors they've gotten friendly with over the journey is having a cigarette next to them.
It's been 18 months of relentless bombing, Mrs. Sterling.
It's so quiet. So deathly quiet. They descend the gangway into Tilbury Customs Shed. There are no porters to take their trunks. Instead, they see women in dungarees and heavy boots hauling crates. At the processing desk, a harried official in a civil defense armband barely looks up as he inspects their forged papers.
DBS from Lisa. You're the last of the lucky ones. Singapore is practically in the bag for the... Here's your emergency ration books. You've got 14 days of coupons. Use them wisely.
He slides 3 small brown paper booklets across the desk, then stamps their papers.
Move along.
Lune Goodwill picks up her ration book, staring at the coupons for sugar, meat, and fats. What does this mean? Lucas takes the booklets and tucks them into his coat. It means we're not out of the woods, Lune. We're rationed, blacked out, and under fire. They exit the docks to catch the train to Fenchurch Street. As the train pulls out, they pass through the East End. Entire streets have been leveled, replaced by prefabs and piles of salvaged brick. People are queuing in the rain for a single loaf of bread, their gas mask boxes slung over their shoulders. Rose leans her forehead against the cold glass. We've fled one graveyard, only to land in another. It looks so shattered. Lucas Sterling says,
We deliver the vial to Whitehall tonight. Then we find a hotel with a cellar. And tomorrow we start a new life together. He grabs her hand tight. She instinctively puts her hand on his. Lune touches her pearls, watching the silver barrage balloons fade into the fog. Blighty, Lucas, I do not like your stories. It's not like your stories. The veil of time suddenly shreds and parts, and the full tapestry of their shared life together just opens up to me suddenly. I see Lune Goodwill, no longer the happy Missy of the plantation, who had been broken by circumstance, blossoming into a woman of remarkable tenacity, her eyes finally clear of the Sulu ghosts. I see Lucas and Rose. The masquerade of Singapore has long since given way to hard-won love and devotion. I see where they have found sanctuary in London, in a quiet red brick terrace, where the morning mist and frequent rain has replaced the heavy heat of the jungle. They are happy. Okay, at least they got a happy ending. Okay. The Sterling family's home. For the 3 survivors of the Goodwill estate, the 4 years since Tilbury have been a slow, grinding climb. They'd lived in a single room in Bayswater through the worst of the V-rocket raids. V-rockets! VL rockets! Surviving on dried eggs and the shared heat of their blankets. But they have held together. The charade of Singapore had become the foundation of their lives. The parlor of their small house is filled with the scent of school chalk. Rose Goodwill, is her name still Rose Goodwill? Did she not get married to him? Is seated at the small dining table, a mountain of exercise books before her. She traded her gin pahits for the homeworks of a local primary school. So, okay. So this is 4 years later. Oh, it does say over here. But, like, just making sure. Rose sighs, marking a page with a red pencil. Honestly, I wish these boys spent half as much time in their long division as they do dreaming of flying Spitfires. Lune enters from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a floral apron. She's 21 now, her face no longer sallow with malaria, but etched with the quiet competence of a woman who has managed 4 years of ration coupons and blackouts. She's the woman of the house, the one who turned a shell of bricks and wood into a home. Leave them be, Rose. They're just glad the sirens have stopped. I've managed to liberate a bit of off-ration suet from the butcher. I never thought I'd try my hand at spotted dick for tea. I thought I'd try my hand at spotted dick for tea. Rose smiles up at her. You're a veritable wizard, Lune. I don't know how we would have survived all these years without your stewpot. The front door opens and Lucas Sterling enters. He looks older. The unnerving calm of Borneo has settled into a permanent, weary gravity. Throughout the latter half of the war, he had been the ghost in the machine, working for MI6 to intercept and neutralize saboteurs attempting to strike the London docks. He pauses in the doorway, his hat in his hand. He doesn't move toward the fire. Rose Goodwill looks up, her smile faltering. She recognizes the surface face, the mask he wears when the news is cold. Lune, come to the parlor, will you? Lune sets down a tea towel, her expression hardening. You've had word from the War Office, I can tell. He reaches into his inner pocket and produces a crisp, official-looking envelope. I spent 18 months chasing his trail at Whitehall. I promised you on the boat 4 years ago that I would deliver him to you. I found him. He walks over and takes Lune's hands, his grip firm and trembling only slightly. I found him, little Lune, or at least, I found the final entry in the ledger. A jagged breath. Tell me. Tell me. Give it to me straight. Lucas pauses, his eyes pained. He was mentioned in the dispatches, Lune. He was a man of metal. He fought his way halfway across the continent trying to find a path back to you. Wait, if her brother is dead, then who told us to do this message? A heavy, suffocating silence falls over the room. Lune Goodwill doesn't scream. She simply closes her eyes, her head bowing as if under physical weight. Rose rises and puts her arm around Lune, her own voice thick with emotion. Oh, my dear, I'm so dreadfully sorry. Lune touches the string of pearls, the one Lucas gave her in Singapore, which she still wears every day. At least he wasn't a ghost. He was a soldier. He was mentioned in dispatches, you say? He was. He died with his face to the enemy, Lune. He was a credit to the Goodwill name. Lune wipes a single tear from her cheek with the corner of her apron. Then we shall have that suet pudding after all. We shall eat in his honor. Because he would have given a sovereign for a bit of Propitov, wouldn't he? I suspect he would have, little Lune. I expect he would have. We're still a family, Lune. A sterling family. We've survived the jungles, the seas, and the Hun. We shall survive this too. Study the buffs, my love. Study the buffs. Oh, Delphine is here now too. Knock on the door. Alright, sure. Good afternoon, how may I help you? Mrs. Sterling, it's so good to finally meet you. I don't know me, you don't know me, but I know a lot about you and your family, and I would love to come in and explain. Oh, come in, come in. Please don't mind the mess, I was in the middle of scoring tests. I'm a school teacher, you see. Thank you very much. Lune, we have company! Coming! Oh, she looks different now. Lune, look at you, you're such a beautiful young woman. Excuse me, do I know you? It's a long story. Is Mr. Sterling around? I would very much like all of you to be here before I explain my sudden visit. I'm so sorry. My husband is still at work. He shan't be long. Well, I suppose I could start. The main person I'm here to see is in this room. Choose their destiny? I don't want to break them up. Like, why? No. We're gonna see what happens if I say Lucas lied to you. But before we do that, we're gonna export a save data. Just in case. Alright, Lucas lied to you. Your brother, your actual brother, is alive, Miss Goodwill. What are you saying? How do you know my... That's not possible. Who are you? Why are you saying these horrible things? We've suffered and grieved enough. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. This must come as a shock, but I have proof. Here, read this letter. I'm a sensitive. I could see echoes of the past, and your brother hired me to find out what happened to you and your father, Lune. He thought you'd both perished that night in Borneo, or he would have looked for you closer to home. But Lucas said... He lied to you, Lune. He lied to both of you. I don't know why he hid this truth from you these past few years. Lucas enters the house. What's going on? Rose throws the letter at Lucas. When were you going to tell us? Or were you ever going to tell us? Or never going to tell us? How could you do this to her? Lucas reads the letter. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to lose you, and I didn't want to lose this. I love you. I love you both so much. I don't understand. How could you say you love me, but break my heart so badly? You saw what it did to me to lose my father and my mother, and you decided it was okay to kill my brother too? I was so scared of losing you. He's your actual brother, and he's successful, rich, and I am nothing. I don't deserve either of you. You're certainly proving that you don't deserve them right now, Lucas. But what about me? What about us? What did you think it would do to us? I just don't understand why you love me, Rose. I keep expecting you to come to your senses and leave me, and if Lune wasn't around, I feared you would have done so already. I fear you're only with me because it's convenient. You could do so much better than me. You are insane, insane. I would have chosen you, Lucas. In 100 rooms, in 100 lives, I would have chosen you. I would have chosen you. I loved you. But now... Delphine, can you take us to see Lune's brother? Right away. Yes, of course. Lune? I love you so much. I loved our family so much. You've broken my heart, Lucas. I hope you're happy. Lune rips the necklace from her neck. Pearls go flying across the room. I'm ready. Let us depart. He's waiting for us at a cafe not far from here. Lucas doesn't say a word as he watches them leave. He just stands there, weeping uncontrollably. Credits number 2? There's also another section, though, that we have to do. So let's see what that's about. We'll see what happened to Cynthia. Pizza doggy. Let's skip this. Alright, we have to wait this out. Alright. So that one was basically just like a very linear story for that part. We didn't really have to do the I don't know. I think there was like only one part where you had to use the game's mechanics the way you had before. Everything else is just basically super linear. But maybe that'll change. In this next section. That's the part I'm interested in, I guess. I think it'll also reveal new names to fill in the rest of the
earlier segment, because we don't know the names of the officers yet. Or maybe I just haven't figured out how to get them in that segment. We'll see. Delphine will be back in Avengers Age of Borneo. Alright. So last time, I think, it also just stayed on the black screen, and I had to refresh. I think that's what happened? I don't remember. Let's refresh. Alright. So, back to the map. So we can do this, do Cynthia's journey now. So, Goodwill Plantation. This is where she was at the time. Out of the frying pan. Harrow's still around. Okay. We've got the Mist Report and the Pearl. Nothing happened what time? Alright, so it's not just her. Let's check out this. Is the commander in the command post. Cynthia Seville enters the hastily constructed command post in the Goodwill Plantation. We've done what we can here, sir. The fires are out and the dead are committed to the earth. But we know that they're merely regrouping in the mangroves. They'll be back soon, and they'll bring heavier metal next time. Understand? This is why I must beg your indulgence. I need to strike for Sandakan immediately. My intended is there. I was due to reconvene with him after this job. I would very much like to take Miller and his men. Miller? Who's Miller? They have proven useful today, and they seem to have the right background for this trek through the jungle. And their orders once we reach the capital. I'm much obliged, Commander. Just one last thing. Who arrived earlier? I saw them arrive by steam engine when I was at the jungle entrance. I could have sworn. I saw you go up and greet them as I was coming back down. I must have imagined it. As Cynthia Seville exits, a superior officer looks up. Cynthia Seville stops short, turns around and pulls a small photograph from her pocket. She looks at it for a moment, then hands it over to a superior officer. It's John, a few weeks ago. You keep it. John? Cynthia Seville emerges from the wash house, where she recuperated the pearl in her affairs. She looks back one last time at the smoky ruins of Goodwill. Let's get a move on, gentlemen. I've an appointment in the city, and I don't mean to keep it waiting. Cynthia Seville is collecting some vines with a parang. What's the watch bill, Sergeant? I'll take the midnight till 2. I can handle the rifle as well as any blue jacket. Don't let the skirts I was wearing earlier fool you. MI5, I try not to shout it from the rooftops. Secrecy and all that. But seeing how we're about to depend on each other to survive, I saw the courtesy of the truth. He must have done something. Alright, and there's probably someone else here. Oh, she's also holding their misreport. Alright. So we do have a new item. Or a new thing. So guess. MIA. Alright, so this is... Why is Delphine here? So this is Cynthia's photograph. And we now have a new guest file, too. His name is John. We don't have... It says John Stanley for some reason. Or, like, the default was John Stanley. But Stanley is not a name we have, so I don't know what's going on there. Do we know McIntyre? Anyway. Alright, so now we can track this, this item, right? This small photograph? Because someone else has it now. But it's not showing up in here on this list. Like, it should be infused, but it's not showing up. But I guess we know who had it. Did we get a new location? Alright, well, we can use this though. So if we go back to Goodwill Plantation, we can use it to track her, I think. Because she would still have it this entire time. So, what happened here? How are we tracking her here? I think this is new? Corporal, could you point me to Sergeant Miller? Alright, we need to find... Okay, command post. She doesn't have it here? Okay, I guess she's not here at this time. Alright, let's okay, jungle entrance. Alright, there's someone at the jungle entrance. Alright, let's go back here. Well, wait, what did she say here? Alright, so she enters the command post here. So this is later. It's Boss, how's it going? We completed the journey. We found out that, or like, they are in London now. They made it to London. Now we're following Cynthia. Oh, let's see. How do we use any of this information? So she gives it to him in the evening of the 17th. Alright, well, we do have new locations here, like a new location here. So, lighter. Alright, so someone with the lighters here. Superior officer takes a bottle of whiskey and 2 glasses out of a box on the floor. Here, we'll have 1 drink and get ready to depart. Alright. Superior officer is examining the map and working out their next move. He tries to get a signal on the wireless. The lieutenant walks in. That's the last thing I need. I'll go see what he wants. Thank you, Lieutenant. Ah, Thomas! What was that commotion outside? So we got a Thomas. Commotion outside just now. So Thomas is not holding... So Thomas is the sergeant, probably. Let's leave a note here. Sergeant Thomas. I spelled sergeant wrong, but it's fine. Reginald, it's Commander Fairfax. Alright, Commander Fairfax. So the commander is Fairfax. He's the one who has the lighter. The superior officer takes the manifest from Cynthia Seville's hand. So Cynthia's here too. And puts it back on his desk. On the desk. Now the pleasantries have been taken care of. Superior officer stares at... Okay. I'll get Sergeant Miller to pick up... Okay, it's Thomas Miller. Your spell fits with your day. What happened? Anything wild? Private, get Sergeant Miller. I've got a job for him. So Sergeant Miller. Sergeant Thomas Miller. So we have a full name. We don't have a photo, as far as I know. And we've also... So she's here too. She should be here. Yes. Reginald! It's good to see you despite the circumstances. I apologize, stiff upper lip and all that. Alright, we need to find his photo. Can I requisite some of your men to help me bury the poor souls with dignity in the cemetery by the chapel? This massacre was terribly unnecessary. Alright, so she goes to workers' quarters. That's where she ends up going. I'll use small photograph for this. She ascends the slope toward the workers' quarters and the stench just hits her like a brick. A young servant. Could it be Asia? Alright, so... Can I focus here? No. So, there's other people here, still. Cynthia salutes the young man. As you were. Alright. That doesn't really help us. Just double check. Small photograph. They don't have the lighter yet. They pick up the lighter yet later, I think. So... Alright. Lighter, more lighter. So yeah, no more lighters in this location. Oh, Cynthia's here. Just waiting here. Cynthia Seville is out of the guest house, having grabbed some spare clothes she had left there when she first arrived at the plantation. Cynthia enters the command post. The dim... Okay. Blue boys work mighty fast, I must say. Where's Fairfax? He told me 10 a.m. sharp. So she's the only one here. A mess hall. A new location. I'm done reading now. Alright, your timepiece must be fast. It is 10 o'clock sharp. Alright, so the lighter got here before, or like... The lighter got here at some other point. I guess it doesn't matter when it got here. What about the dark? Alright, mess hall. That's not a hall, that's a tent. Food smells good, surprisingly good considering. Alright, so... Lighter? No. This handwritten letter hasn't come up yet either. We need a photo of fucking Reginald so that we can identify him properly. Commotion outside. Sergeant Miller. So Reginald Fairfax, Commander Reginald Fairfax. Okay, so you were tentatively scheduled to help with advice that the admin password was unavailable, and then last minute summoned to the place and did electronic surgery attached to an unlabeled header. Oh no. Loop mounting embedded flash, inserting your own credentials. Oh no. How do we get names here? Alright, there's a private here. I don't know if they're important. The blue boys must work. Okay, she notices the manifest. Okay, so I had to do that. I had to click the manifest. I could only feel them from 8 o'clock on the Wednesday morning. Their launch would have been too far from the plantation before then. And anyway, I wouldn't have known where in the sea it would have emerged from. It's also very clear they were all together on the shore at 8 o'clock and then spread out afterwards. Alright, so 8 o'clock is the important bit. So now we have a manifest. How do we put names on anybody? I don't know what hats people wear. Alright, so this is Commander Reginald Fairfax. This is Sergeant Thomas Miller. This is private. I don't know your name. No. Yeah. I don't know any other names right now. I don't think. Success, partially. Lower level creds were an issue. We had them, but they weren't working. Password was hashtag last name with capital P18. Okay. All right. We have new people now. Reginald. All right. So we have the full discussion here now. And this is Reginald and Thomas by the shore. I don't really know how to explain it, quite frankly, sir, but we've got it in hand. Good. I leave it in your capable hands. Alright, I don't really care. Corporal Hudson was helping with the clubhouse fire. I'll go talk to him and see, and he can take the Tweety with him. Do we have any other names? Hudson is a last name, but I don't know if we have a first name to put on him. There's a Charles Brook who just arrived by the steam engine. He's asked for you by the jungle entrance. Charles Brook. That name rings a bell. Where did I say it before? I'm sure I've seen it somewhere during my research in Borneo, maybe in my glossary about the colonies. Alright, I guess the glossary is important. Alright. Yeah, there's nothing left. You got it. Reginald Fairfax takes a bottle of whiskey. I'll have a drink and get ready to depart. Alright. So Charles Brook in the glossary. Sarawak ruled by Charles Brook of the Brook family and the White Rajas. There it is. It's the White Raja, and I have a photo too. How convenient. Alright, cool. We have a photo with this new guy. Hi, Charles Brook. So I guess you must be Corporal. We're just gonna leave him, give him his last name. Oh, his name was in fact Stanley Hudson. Okay. We know this guy's name is John. Shazam, password worked with the correct spelling of the last name. Okay, so tried and finally noticed something stupid. Last name on your tentative calendar invite did not match the last name on some mail. Rip. So the reason you couldn't get in was because someone made a typo on the calendar. That's funny.
Hey Fire Flint, what's the vibe? Cozy.
It's cozy. We're not supposed to be cozy. We're supposed to be scared about this mystery. Alright, let's see. Cemetery. So was someone already here? I don't know. Alright, so Thomas Miller. Wait. Who's here? Corporal. Alright, so was it just you two? No, there's someone else. Alright, so we can't, it seems like we can't do this just yet. Workers' quarters. What was here? A young man. Probably not what we're looking for just yet. So we know they were all at the shore, but we don't have any items on them for them at the moment. So they are all at the short 8. But we don't have everybody yet. And I don't think, yeah, we can't really do anything with this right now. Alright, where did Charles Miller show up? Or Charles Brook. He's asked for you, he's by the jungle entrance, alright. Charles Brook. Reginald Fairfax. Okay, there's nothing else here. The Raja shows up. We repelled the— oh! Thanks for the loud knock. You're holding nothing. I hear what is being said on the wireless. The king's army is spread too thin, and if the charter company can no longer protect its assets, blah blah blah. Lore. This is just a courtesy warning. I will be in my carriage awaiting your departure. Reginald Fairfax and his lieutenant walk back toward the estate. The man's a ghost from the 19th century, and he's still trying to outmaneuver the Admiralty. Alright. Cool. That was semi-pointless, I guess. Alright, so the lighter isn't there. Isn't here. We don't know who's hanging out here. Oh, Charles Brooke is here. The man is like a block of wood, solid, silent, and ancient. And does he really believe in the deep recesses of his soul that he can hold back the Japanese war machine with a few Ebon blades? Or is he being willfully ignorant on purpose because of acknowledging the whatever, I don't care about Charles Brooke. Who cares about Charles Brooke? Alright, something about the mess hall. We don't have any items to help us right now. We know where the lighter is basically this whole time. It's like basically right here. They picked up the lighter. When did they pick up the lighter? They were in the study, right? So this was Reginald. Yeah. And nothing else here. We got lucky this time. Sees Jeremiah Goodwill's body on the floor. How peculiar. You've not been shot. What really happened here? It's the lighter. And then that's when he gets the lighter at 10 o'clock. Well, that's cleared out now. Yeah, there's someone else here. I don't have them yet, I don't think. Yeah, the private is here, but I don't think we have a private's name, do we? We don't have enough names for the private. Private, his name isn't John. Private, I don't remember. I don't even know if we have enough information about him yet. Sergeant Miller, Private. Alright, by the shore. So Thomas on the shore. Let's see if we can find out what's going on there. We don't have Thomas. Alright. Is there someone else here? Okay. So where was Miller this whole time? He's got to be at the shore. He's got to be at the shore, right? Corporal Hudson was helping with the clubhouse fire. Alright, when did that happen? It must have happened, like, here somewhere. Yeah. Bugger it, this is very bad. You over there. Yeah, you. Why are you standing there gawking at it? See the blah 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 blah. And then, is he still here? Yes, he is. Behind him, a small human chain of soldiers and boy seamen works with grim determination. Alright, the fire's getting under control. Are you still here? You're not here anymore. Thomas Miller? You want to talk to him. Alright. Corporal Hudson, do you have a minute? Okay, grab bird whistle on your way. Tweet? Really? The boy won't shut up. Yes, but he's a hard worker and always happy to help. With all due respect, I'd rather he be lazy and moody than quiet. Bird whistle. Well, that's quite a name, but... we don't have his first name yet. Maybe they found the pouch? No. There's still stuff happening here, but I don't know what. Whoa. Alright, so this didn't exist until like 8 o'clock. So we'll see if anything important happens in any of these slots. Alright, so there are people here. So, Cynthia, are you in here somewhere? No. There you go. Cynthia's in here now. Alright. Cynthia, Stanley Hudson, and a young soldier arrive at the mess hall. So this is Tweety. Private Bird Whistle. Ulu Jungle. That's quite a knife. We got a knife. The knife belongs to the corporal. Alright, so we got some information from that, I guess. So knife belongs to Corporal Stanley Hudson. This is a knife. Alright, so I guess we gotta leave here and then go to Ulu Jungle. Oops. Stanley Hudson and a young soldier are asleep. Alright. Cynthia's the villa standing guard at 3 AM. I'm not that tired. I'll start up a small fire. Do you want to brew? Alright. Well, we need the dude's name. I'd really like to know too. We can't do anything yet because we don't have a name, unfortunately. Because there's like 3 of them. Alright, so I guess we do have to go back to the plantation, but first... Alright, Stanley Hudson's here. Don't you worry, miss. We'll have you in the Sandakan Club for a gin pahit before you can say Bob's your uncle. We don't get a name here, though, sadly. There's more people here, unfortunately. How do we get your name, sir? Well, whatever. Sure. You have a knife now, so we can track him at least. So, shows up at 8 in the shore. Supposedly. Stanley Hudson grabs a young soldier by the collar. Come on, Tweety, let's go explore. Which way do you fancy? Come on, slugger. Alright, they go to the veranda, it seems like. Stanley Hudson and a young soldier enter the veranda, moving in a practice crouch. All clear, lad. Signal. Pours himself a second drink. So they're still here? And then he goes to the clubhouse to help put out the fire. He was the one sitting by himself looking all stoic. are we gonna find the names? How are we gonna find his name? Alright, so he's probably here, too. Here. Give the woman a minute, Arthur. Alright, so we have his name. Finally, we have fucking Tweety's name. So he's Private Arthur Tweety. Bird whistle. There you go. Finally. Alright. So, Arthur and Stanley. I think they'll be back. And they're talking about the... Okay. Look at... Okay. Oh man, they think that Jiro was a spy. No, he was just having sex with the owner's wife. Or ex-wife, I guess. Artie's so cute. What? There's more. Okay, there's someone else here. Miller must be here. Get to the shore and get a detail together. And then Hudson helps with the raging fire. Oh, there's people in the dead bodies, Japanese and Royal Navy soldiers washing ashore. What the hell's going on here? We have no idea. Bodies started washing up on shore. They're not our men. Look, they've had their boots and belts taken off. Does no one have any respect for the... Okay, so this is Rose, Lune, and Lucas were basically taking all of their gear because they were dead on the boat that they're on. Commander is looking for you. Alright. So these four are here. It doesn't look like... Okay, secluded beach. We already have that. It doesn't look like we're gonna get anything new here. They're just showing up. I'll be damned. Cynthia's on Live and Breathe. He's British. He's not supposed to sound like that. Alright. So she goes to the guest house. We have all that cleared up. Does anything happen here? I don't think anything does, right? Oh, something does happen here. Oh, we gotta just give these two a chance. Alright, there's nothing else on this shore. Thomas Miller and Reginald Fairfax lean against the palm tree. Kotabaru was a bloodbath. You know, they're just chatting. Thomas finishes his cigarette. And then they were like, I guess it's time to go back to work. Alright, mess hall. Everyone's here for now. Chef, what's good? Alright, he's the one sitting by himself. They arrive, so Reginald Fairfax is, or whoever was here, was already here. Private bird whistle tells me you've been stationed. So who was already here? Hudson, so Thomas Miller was the one who was already here. Alright. Wait, what's he say? Hey, why is everyone looking so glum? 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 Alright, so Thomas Miller was already here. Sarge, I wanted to apologize for the false alarm by the shore earlier. I just never seen anything quite like it. It's quite alright, Private. Nameless Private. Alright, so we've got that cleared out. So last two things are the work quarters and the cemetery. So Cynthia, Arthur, and Stanley are here. And they're digging. There's the last couple of charred bodies by the clubhouse. Alright. And then they're digging. Don't be digging. Alright. Arthur's here by himself, doing stuff. And I guess the last place must be... What happened to you? What are you doing here, bud? Wait. Alright. No more here. Study it, boys! Don't let it slip. If we let them slip down the hill, we'll be here all day getting the bodies out of the bushes. Right, do we have a new location that we find here? Jungle entrance? It doesn't seem like there's anything new to find. Unless I'm, like, missing something. Alright, so we've got everything green, but we still don't know, like, we've still got him hanging around. So I don't know. Like, he just showed up and now we don't know where he is. Alright, well, we got names, so we can go here now. Oh. Alright, so nothing left is here. We don't have any new quotes or anything, it seems like. Or like we have quotes, but... So John, is John's name Fairfax? Is that why they know each other? John Fairfax? Yes, they are brothers, probably. So that's why Cynthia and Reggie know each other. Because her fiance slash husband slash whatever is Reggie's sibling, perhaps? Kissing cousins. Alright, alright. Ulu Jungle. They drop their heavy bags of the grunts. 2-hour stints, Hudson, you're the first watch, blah blah blah. I can handle a rifle. So she's keeping watch at some point. I watched him burn. He burnt like any other man. He screamed like any other man too. No such thing as supernatural powers. I saw Anthem with my own eyes. With my own eyes. Alright. Now we can do this. So it's all of them again. John Fairfax is not here though. Nothing happened. Uh-oh. Who's not here? Alright, it was Fairfax. Oh yeah, that's why she gave him the photo, because Fairfax was gonna stay behind or something. Go rest, I have it from here. I'm not tired. They're changing watch. So what's an MI5 agent doing in this neck of the woods anyway? I'd really like to know too. Alright, they sit in silence and make their camp, making their way down into the thick of the jungle. They keep going? The day is relentless, humid wait. Light is filtering. Tweety, is you just yapping? Shut your cake hole! Sorry, Corporal, just observing. It's a marvel, really. Mode outfit, he's just still going. Alright. They're in the trees. No, it's just a monkey. Lord, give me strength. I'm a sergeant of the armed constabulary, not a bloody nursemaid. Tricking the Ulu with a milk boy who's scared of his own shadow. Alright. Next day. As the light falls, a series of dull thoughts echo from the north on the horizon where Sandokan lays. The sky begins to pulse with a sickly flickering orange. Alright. They're not stars. There's oil go-downs on the harbor, so it's the burn of the city. Then we'll take Singapore, right? Sarge, my dad said Singapore was a fortress. He said we'd be home by spring. Home by spring? Tweety, your dad's been reading too many stories. Alright, Nipa Swamps. What do you mean, Sarge Corporal? What does he mean? Alright. Tomorrow's your day to shine. Mimicking the mouth of a crocodile, snapping with his arms, that's what he means. Alright, so are they still here? They are still here. And there's nothing left. Until later. What do you think this tastes like? Is it dangerous if I swallow too much? Will my insides turn to charcoal? Oh, Arthur. Sweetie, what are you doing? Alright, so nothing happens at all on this day. Next day. Maze of Nipa swamps and tangled mangrove roots. Nipa palms and tangled mangrove roots that look like giant spiders. Spider warning? Spider warn, spider warn. Turn the monitor off, spider warn. Alright, let's see. Thomas Miller says, watch your footing and for the love of God, keep your muzzles out of the muck. Alright, so they're walking through the mud. Cynthia Seville goes rigid, her hand instinctively finding the grip of her revolver. 10 feet to the left, the broad, smooth path of flattened mud curves into the water, indicates a fresh crocodile slide. The reeds are still trembling. Big one. 12-footer, at least. He's in the channel somewhere. If you feel a log bump your leg, don't scream. Just pray the Almighty likes sheep farmers. I'm praying right hard. And then... Oh, I'm stuck, Corporal, help me! Pull, sweetie, heave! My boot, Sarge! The bloody mud's gone and eaten my boot! We haven't been out 2 days yet, and the Imperial force is already down to 1 shoe! Hudson, give him a hand. I can't stop to dig for it. We're already down 1 shoe. I think it's down 1 shoe. Down to 1 shoe? No, that's probably wrong. A sampan emerges. It's a local dugout canoe. It's steered by a local man. The boat is dangerously low in the water, piled high with bundled rattan mats, copper cooking pots, and terrified-looking goat. 2 small children sit atop the pile, their eyes wide and full of questions. Clawback, where do you go, Pac? To the city? The local man pauses paddling, looking at the filthy British soldiers and the lady in the muddy boots. He shakes his head slowly. No, ma'am, not to the city. The city is for the fire now. We go to the small rivers into hiding for a while. He's got the right of it. Well, he's got the right of it. He's taken his family inland before they can catch them. Our time is over, Cynthia. Even the locals can smell the cinders. Anyway, anything important here? Doesn't seem like it now. Alright, more's the pity. Every inch of their khaki is plastered with a thick layer of black silk that smells of ancient rot. I can feel them, Corporal. It's like a dozen tiny fingers twitching in my socks. It's proper grisly. Oh, nasty leeches. Ew. Look at the size of this one. Could be a whole meal. Looks like a fat sausage. Use the salt, don't pull that off. It's too far in. You'll cause him a tropical ulcer by morning. That'll eat right to the bone. I've lost my boot. My socks are shredded and I'm being eaten alive by vampiric slugs. Cheer up, lad. I'll fashion you a native sandal out of some rattan and a bit of canvas. Anyway, so you know they're struggling. They're struggle bussing through the forest, the jungle. It's sitting in a stifling office in Sindakin for 6 months. Right? There's a reason my cover is being a lady solicitor. In reality, it's mostly ledger work and analysis. It's about being the woman no one notices at a garden party. Do you carry peace everywhere you go? Blah, blah, blah. Alright. Stand to, everyone. The sun's touching the trees. Not a peep. Arthur clutches his rifle, his bare foot tucked under him. They sit in the dark, glistening in the jungle. When they finally get to set up camp, they find a small cave in the limestone. Okay, so they're resting in a cave now. It begins as a low, vibrating hum. There's nothing more in this area, it seems like. First true monsoon deluge of their trek doesn't fall. It arrives as a solid wall of water. I've never seen anything like it. It's not rain, it's a bally waterfall. Bally? Stop messing around, grab everything you can before it gets swept away. Right, the fun's over. Hudson, get those ground sheets spread. We need to dry the kit before the humidity turns everything to green mold. Tweety, check your makeshift sandal. I'll not have you hobbling on a wet foot. I have a long slog ahead. The round's going to be like a skating rink after that lot. Alright, so they go to Gomantong outskirts. Well, I feel like the puzzle has vanished. We're just now just clicking the same names over and over. Oh, nothing happened at this hour. It's because I'm on the wrong hour. Keep a lookout for swift nests. They're not only edible, but a delicacy, and they preserve for weeks. Edible nests! How are they edible? What are they made of? Saliva, lad. It's solidified bird saliva. That sounds foul. No, it's foul. I wish you hadn't told me that. You asked, bird whistle. Alright, anyway. So yeah, they're struggle bussing still. The struggle bus is marching forward. This is the desert bus. They have to pay attention for hours on end. How do they get up here? They climb! Alright. Uh-oh, someone's new here. Alright, so this guy, Harrow, has appeared again. He has decided he's tired of being missing, and he's just here now. Ambush, form a square! Alright, anyway. The pirates have showed up. Pirates have the high ground and the numbers. He has the high ground! It's over, Anakin! Just as he prepares to signal the slaughter, a sharp whistle echoes with the rocks above. Oh. Ludwig Harrow appears. Well, I'll be a son of a sea cook. The lady solicitor. I thought you'd been gutted by the... No. You're a long way from the jungle, Harrow. The world is upending itself, my dear. The man must find high ground when the tide turns to blood. And you, trekking through the Ulu with a one-legged boy and a couple of old hands. And tell me, what of Bone and the plantation? Did they salvage anything from the chaos? Bone is dead. The plantation is a charred ruin, and everyone is evacuating. Dead is he? Shame. Unlike the old devil, he had pluck. Alright, Sepulchre Crossing. Go on then, strike for the city. But hold the back roads to Sandakan. I'll have to take the Sepulchre Crossing. You'll have to take the Sepulchre Crossing tracks if you want to make it. By the help, Ludwig. Consider it a professional courtesy. I'd rather see you drown in the Atlantic than be executed by those little men from the north. Now, get a move on before I change my mind. Sarge, did a pirate just let us go? Shut it, Private Bird Whistle. Keep moving before the Almighty realizes he made a mistake. Alright. So I guess Ludwig is probably still here by himself? No. I guess are they all still here? Alright, they're still here except for Ludwig. Ludwig left. Alright. How much further to Sepulchre Crossing, Sergeant Miller? Not far now, Private. Just over this next ridge and we should be able to get to the coast. Blah, 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 blah. Dusune Hunters. The Dusune people are the largest indigenous group in North Borneo. They're farmers and fierce hunters. They're farming for drops. Let's see. They're wary at first, but when they see the group is not Japanese soldiers, they relax slightly. Good day to you, we're British soldiers, we're heading to Sandakan. The locals nod, understanding the word Sandakan. They gesture for the group to join them around the fire. They seem friendly enough. Aye, but keep your guard up. This is the best food I've had in weeks! I'll tell you, Miss Cynthia, if I ever get back to Yorkshire, I'm telling my dad to stop keeping sheep and start keeping whatever these chaps are catching. That is properly grand. Hunting for ferocity. You know, I've spent the last 48 hours calling you shambles, called you pups, milky boys, and nuisances. You weren't wrong about the nuisance bit when Tweety's concerned, Sarge. I've seen a lot of men hit the Ulu for the first time, men in the armed constabulary, with years of drill behind them, and I've seen them weep and break in the harshness of it all, but I'll say this for you lot. You've got guts, more than most in these circumstances. Don't go getting sentimental, Thomas. That doesn't suit you. Alright. He takes his long drink from the bamboo tube, the liquid sloshing over the rim and down his chin. He doesn't bother to wipe it off. Alright. Sepulchre Crossing is next. Giant dipterocarp trees block out the sun, making the forest floor a permanent twilight. There are vampires here? Sparkly vampires? Oh, wrong time. Alright. After lunch, they move through the giant trunks. There's, permanent twilight, surprisingly clear of vines, but full of moss, fungi, lots of fun people in general, not just the fun guy, and occasionally giant millipede. I didn't think trees could grow this big. They're called dipterocarps. They're the giants of the jungle. It's like a cathedral. Look, Sarge, Miss Cynthia, it's a man! There's a man in a fur coat up there! Let's see. They come across a clearing where a large orangutan is sat perched on a branch. Arthur? That's our man, Tweety. That's the true master of Borneo. They're gonna get mauled by an orangutan. Let's go! He's likely wondering what a sorry sight like us is doing tramping around his neck of the woods. He's got a face just like my great Uncle George. Look at him, he's winking at me! Arthur Birdwhistle begins to make a soft clicking sound with his tongue. The orangutan tilts his head, drops the fruit peel, and lets out a long, low booming call that echoes through the trees. The group laughs. After a few minutes, the orangutan swings away, leaving the group in silence once more. We should keep moving, we're losing day... Oh no. A sharp, dry crack like the snap of a dead branch shatters the moment. Thomas Miller doesn't scream, he simply jerks backward as if an invisible hand has punched him in the chest. A dark pool of crimson erupts through his khaki tunic. He looks at Cynthia Seville with a look of profound bewilderment, his prying slipping from his fingers before he collapses into moss. Sarge? Sarge? Arthur, get down, you fool! What was that? A sniper? Snipers! It's the everywhere! Oh no. Alright. Oh yeah, it was an orangutan! An orangutan sniping them! It's Lanky Kong. Lanky Kong is tired of this bullshit. You calling me a funny face? No style, no grace? I'll show you a funny face! If you want to see Short Yorkshire again, you pick up the rifle and you fire. You hear me fire. Alright. You know, she seizes Thomas Miller's bag containing the dispatches from the governor and drags it back into cover, blah blah blah. Grabbing Arthur Birdwhistle by the collar. Now, bolt! Alright. So Miller is down. They ran until the light failed completely. And that's the end of this location. He's gone. He's but a gone. We left him. We left him so they could live, Arthur. Pull yourself together. He wouldn't want you to be like this. He knew the risks. It's my fault. I should have done something. There was nothing to be done, Stanley. They had us pinned. We didn't even see them. They were ghosts. We're alive. That's all that matters. That is the nature of their warfare. They don't fight in lines, they fight in the shadows. When I had the malaria in 39, he sat up 3 nights pouring quinine down my throat. He was a good man. He was a good man, and we left him. We just barely well left him there to rot in the muck. He deserved proper burial. He didn't want a burial, Stanley. He wanted us to reach Sandakan. He wanted these dispatches to deliver to the governor. So, we still have to get it to him. We do. Both of you. The service doesn't give us the luxury of mourning today, but I swear to you, we will make the sergeant's death mean something. We will carry this bag to the coast. We will hold the line. Well, let's get on with it. The sooner we get there, the sooner we can get back to civilization. Right. Civilization. And a point. Come on, you two. We've got a long way to go. Next stop, Batu Sapi. Batu Sapi. I don't know, it looks like their long way to go is way shorter than the rest of the journey so far. Alright, nothing else is here. They emerge in the morning from the suffocating canopy of the sepulchre like ghosts rising from a tomb. They walked all night in silence. They couldn't bring themselves to make camp, they just wanted to make good time and reach civilization as soon as possible. Alright. Rhythmic surf sits Batu Sapi. In peacetime, it's a popular tourist site, but in wartime, it's a desolate place. Right then, we're really out of the trees. Aye, that's the cow. That means we're close now. 5 minutes from the Jubilee Tower. Miller always said if you can see the cow, you can smell the ginpa hits at the club. Alright. So they're there now. They can see the buildings of Sandakan. Oh, good God. They put the whole Bali town to the torch! Means no cover to hide behind, right? That's the work of the British. They're destroying everything on the way out. We need to hurry or there'll be no one left. They'll have evacuated. Look there, Hudson. Behind the mainland. Alright, destroyer sitting out the sea. A Fubuki class by the looks of her. She's corking the bottle. Fubuki is here? Suddenly Fubuki? No one is sailing out of Sandakan today. So we're marooned. We've hiked through hell just to watch the curtain fall on the capital, so what do? We keep moving, we find a way to get to Sandakan. We deliver these dispatches, we'll enter the city from the cliffs. Into the fire. Alright, they skirted the low-lying Chinese town, the commercial heart of Sandakan, a bustling district of shop houses and markets where the local Chinese community conducted their business. It was a vibrant hub of activity, with sounds of commerce and the aroma of spices filling the air. Okay. Summit is a scene of industrial desecration. The tall steel telegraph masts, once the pride of the chartered company, have been felled like timber, their cables snarled in the dirt. The station building is a blackened shell, melted wires hanging like dead vines. So Stanley wipes some soot from his eyes as he looks around.
Stone the crows, we've entered the inferno.
The buildings of the Secretariat are pockmarked by fire. Arthur...
Everyone's running, Corporal. Are we too late? Has the governor bolted?
He won't have bolted, Birdwhistle. A British governor doesn't leave his post. He gets dragged from it to Government House, on the double. They reach the gates of the Government House. The manicured lawns are crisscrossed with 10 trenches, and the white pillars are draped in drab camouflage netting. You find the governor in his study, a stiff drink in his hand. He looks like a man who's already crossed the bar. Governor? I carry dispatches from Commander Fairfax.
Fairfax, is he still above water? We heard the movement had reached the Sulu coast yesterday.
The Japanese held them for time, sir. These dispatches contain the Navy's final coordinates for the evacuation. Is there a vessel available for these men?
A vessel? Look out the window, my dear. The Mlu's have harbor by the throat. No merchantman is clearing the harbor today. We are merely waiting for the knock at the door now.
Then it is time to finish this. Hudson, Birdwhistle, follow me. I have a ledger of my own to settle. Uh-oh, someone else is here. Alright, John Fairfax is here. Alright, Cynthia leads the 2 bewildered soldiers away from the government district and goes to an unassuming bungalow. The moment the front door is bolted, her fiancé John emerges from the shadows. Yeah, we have to include question mark as well.
My beloved, finally!
You can drop the act, John. We're at war and past the subterfuges. This is Stanley and Arthur. They're with me. Laz, this is John Fairfax, my handler. Commander Fairfax's brother. Oh, I see.
Fine. Report, Agent, and be quick.
They're at the Jubilee Tower. The Sundakan Jubilee Clock Tower was a historic landmark located in Sundakan. It is a notable structure in colonial British North Borneo and survived the war but was demolished soon after when the town was rebuilt. I may have failed my primary mission, but seeing what's happening on our front door, I doubt it matters. On the other hand, I've got something much better in these circumstances. She reveals the mist report, the formula for the green mist. Everything the service requires to manufacture it. An SAS agent, Lucas Sterling, is on his way back to the Allies with the countermeasures, but this the sword to match his shield. John scans the papers.
Capital work, Agent Seville. This will make the board of directors sit up and take notice. I say, who are you people truly?
We're the ghosts of the machine, Stanley. We're your only ticket out of this graveyard.
The harbor is blocked, but the seaplane base at the western inlet is still holding. We have a Catalina, a military flying boat, prepping for a dawn run to Colombo.
A flying boat? We're gonna fly to London?
Not quite London, lad, but it'll get you to Ceylon in 48 hours. It's a tight squeeze and loud as a blitz, but it beats a Japanese bayonet.
Oh. There's someone else here. Alright, so John Fairfax is not hanging out. I guess he's still wherever. I now know what happened to Cynthia. She escaped Sundakan with the mist report and made it to Ceylon. I wonder if she's still alive. I should try to reach out to her and get her side of the story, but for now I can close that chapter. Catalina sits low in the water of a hidden cove, its twin engines beginning a heavy thrum. Cynthia Seville, Stanley Hudson, and Arthur Birdwhistle in a new clean uniform scrambles through the waist-high hatch. Will they sprout bushy eyebrows like Columbo? Sadly, the last time we were at Colombo, nobody solved any mysteries. Then nobody said,
just one more thing.
Or however he says it. Keep your chins up, boys. Next stop, the Galface Hotel. Look at that, Stanley. We're flying. We're really flying away from it all.
Good riddance to the Ulu. We're Puka refugees now, Arthur.
The flying boat banks west, climbing into the clouds. Below them, Borneo is a landscape of smoke and shadow. A paradise is lost, but in Cynthia's bag, the mist report is secure, and the long flight toward the Indian Ocean has begun. Alright. So do we have anything new? Are we done? I don't know if we're done. Like, it seems like we found everything now. Let's knock on their door again? Question mark? I didn't get our credits that rolled. though. I guess we were supposed to do this before finishing the journey. I don't know. Everything is clear, though. Like, we don't have... it doesn't seem like we have anything left to do. Right? We still have this guy hanging out. I don't know why we still have him here. Is that a glitch? Maybe it's a glitch. Maybe I'm supposed to find something here that I missed about where he is. Yeah, he just showed up at the jungle entrance, and then he's there. I guess the game is just, like, did not realize, or, like, is not noting that he's not anywhere yet. He and Asia are hanging. Oh no, Asia's here now. Like, Asia ended up here. We found where she ended up going. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we have anything left. I think we just kind of did things slightly out of order, so we didn't get the full, the credits roll again. Either that or I'm still missing something. But it's hard to say. I feel like everything is solid now, so I don't know if I missed anything. That's a glitch. Wait, what part's the glitch? The dude is showing up? Also, hi, Bush Monkey. How's it going? Thank you for making this game. Is the glitch this guy showing up in this time area? Yeah, so I think I finished everything, I think. Was there more, or was it just, like, knock on the door now? I guess we could see the other ending. Like how we still have biohazard sample lying around here. Yeah, I guess we could see the other ending. The one where Lucas didn't lie to them, maybe, or maybe we're lying to them. I don't know. I don't know what what the consequences of the other ending are, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when we do it. Knock on the door. All right. So again, good afternoon. How may I help you, Miss Starling? It's good to finally meet you. You don't know me, but I know a lot about you and your family, and I would love to come in and explain. Come in, come in. Please don't mind the mess. I was in the middle of scoring tests. I'm a school teacher, you see. Thank you very much. Lune, we have company! Coming! Lune, look at you. You're such a beautiful young woman. Excuse me. Do I know you? There's a post-credit scene after you knock on the door now that you did Cynthia the Tradition. Okay, okay. Does it matter which option I pick for this one? Or is it just, it doesn't matter? It's a long story. Is Mrs. Sterling around? I would very much like all of you to be here before I explain my visit, sudden visit. I'm so sorry. My husband is still at work. He shan't be long. Well, I suppose I could start. The main person I'm here to see is in this room. Alright, so last time we did this Destiny, so I guess we might as well check out what this other one gives us. Lune, this is going to sound insane, but I'm what they call a sensitive. I can sense echoes from the past, and souls that have not yet departed from this world. Ghosts, if you will. Your brother, your actual brother, Miss Goodwill. He contacted me. What? What are you saying? How do you know my... That's not possible. From beyond the grave, his soul could not rest until he understood what had happened to you. Who are you? Why are you saying these horrible things? We've suffered and grieved enough. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. This must come as a shock, and I have no proof save for this journal I wrote describing everything that has happened to you since the fateful night in Borneo. How could I know all of this if I didn't have the powers I'm claiming? Rose and Lune flip through the journal, their face white with shock as they read their life. I just can't get my head around this. How did he contact you? Also, there was a knock just now. I don't know what that was about. There was a loud knock before, 44 minutes ago, but this isn't that. I thought I received a letter, but it wasn't actually quite real. In a way, I should have known. It came with photos of everyone in the plantation at the time. I mean, Why would he have gotten hold of photos of Canaan and Asia, for example? Rose and Lune are staring at Delphine incredulously. They're not wrong. I know how it sounds, I really do. I debated long and hard if I should even have come. Lucas enters the house. What's going on? Lune runs up to him and hugs him tight, crying. It's Lune. It's Lune's brother. This woman claims she spoke to him. No, I didn't say I spoke to him. You're sensitive. Wait, you're Delphine? Yes. Do we know each other already? No, not personally. But MI6 has employed you in the past. You've done some amazing work for us and for the country. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. That means a lot. Wait, so everything she's telling us is true? After what I've seen and heard, I wouldn't doubt anything she says. Lune gets over the initial shock and finally speaks up. So you're saying my brother cared so deeply about me that he couldn't let go until he found out the truth? I guess this is a much happier ending than that other one. Not gonna lie. I mean, one of the brothers is dead. The brother is dead this time, but like... Yes, that's what I'm saying. And the moment he discovered you were alive, happy and living your life, the echo of the letter he sent me just vanished, and I felt him leave, finally at peace. The room is silent for an uncomfortably long time. Tea! Where are my manners? Do you want some tea? That would be wonderful. They all take a seat in the sitting room. Did I make the right choice by coming here? Or should I have left you blissfully unaware? Lune wipes a tear from her eye. It's a tear of joy. You made the right choice, Delphine. It has given me some actual closure. Thank you. Oh, and before I forget, Delphine grabs something from her pocket. I went to see Miss Seville before coming here, you see. Just to get a sense of whether I should or not, you know? Oh, Cynthia in the country. Yes, but only for a short while, and it's all very hush-hush. No one should know where she is, but, you know, I have my ways. Anyway, Lune, she wanted you to have this. Delphine hands over a single, solitary red pearl to Lune. As a keepsake, lest we forget, is what she said to me. Lune attaches the red pearl to the front of her necklace, a radiant smile on her face. She just does that. She has, like, magnets on her necklace. Alright, there's the Red Pearls of Borneo! I think we managed to get through the second part faster than the previous. Unless I'm missing something still, but who knows. But it looks like we got everything. And then, you said there's a post-credit, or was that the post-credit? Was that the Red Pearl thing? I guess ending it on that second ending was probably better for everyone, in the sense that we didn't end on them just us breaking this family up. We didn't turn Lucas into a liar. Because in the other ending, he does admit that he was lying, and he was just like a sad sack of a man. So presumably, we just literally changed the timeline. This is a better timeline for everyone involved, except for the dead brother, who got his own dead closure anyway. Delphine will be back. I suppose that means the author is intending on making new games starring Delphine. I do like this format. Ooh, okay, here's the post-credits. Okay, February 1964. So this is a whole, 16 years after that event. There's a knock at the front door. Who could that be? I'm coming! Hello, Delphine. We would like you to join the Avengers Initiative. Agent Seville, what brings you here? I'm in danger and I do not know who to trust anymore. I need your help. What's wrong? What's going on? One of our best agents and a dear friend of mine has disappeared. John? Last time I spoke to him, he said he was onto something big, but he was being followed. I'm worried sick, but I fear the worst, and that someone from the inside is responsible. I'm sorry to hear that. What was his name? Oh, Tweety! His name is Arthur. Arthur Birdwhistle. Arthur joined MI6? I mean, I guess that makes sense. To be continued. Let's go. And I guess it just ends here, right? There's it doesn't reset or anything. But yeah, that was the end of the game, I guess. I really like that. I think, so this post-game stuff was a lot more linear, and the actual deduction part ended up being, far less involved. You know, but I liked it. I like finding out what happened to the characters. We found out that Cynthia trudged through and into everything about Cynthia. Everything we knew about Cynthia was fake. Is Cynthia even her real name? She had a fake fiance. She had a fake job. She probably has a fake name. Somehow Robert, John, her handler, was using his real name because his brother was was going by that name too. I wonder what the deal is with that. Lune, Lune started, I guess she started cooking. I don't know what else she does. She's managing the house while Lucas does his job as a SIS agent, and while Rose is I guess she's just teaching kids at school. In the 4 years, I guess it's 7 years, right? Since they'd known each other. Maybe it was 8. In the years since they'd known each other, they never had kids. Maybe, well, that was never mentioned. Maybe they just didn't know they want kids. Rose is indoctrinating the youth. She wants the youth to learn how to punch guys out and kick their shins. Rose is the best. She was great. But anyway, yeah, that was the end of this game. I don't think I really had anything to do. Like, I was hoping it would last about, at least 3 hours. It was close enough. But yeah, what I do want to say, though, is that the next game that we're going to be taking a look at is probably going to be Paranormasight. Paranormasight just came out, the new one. So I already bought it. We're going to install it. It's less than a gigabyte? How is it less than a gigabyte? They are efficient with this game, dang. Yeah, so we're probably going to be starting this maybe Saturday. If not Saturday, then definitely on Tuesday. That is going to be our next game, because Paranormasight was great. I love that game. I hope we love this game too. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for me. Sorry for the stream being short, I guess. We're gonna probably have information density. Yeah, let's refresh, see what, Alright, we're back here, alright. So yeah, there's not really anything else we need to do, it seems like. So yeah, I guess that's the end of stream. Alright. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for dropping by, Bush Monkey. Thank you for making this game. This was really fun. And I'm looking forward to whatever you make next. In the meantime, as I said, next stream is going to be on Saturday. I haven't decided yet if it's going to be Paranormasight yet, or if we're going to do like itch.io games or whatever we normally do on Saturdays. But yeah, Tuesday will definitely be Paranormasight regardless of everything else. I think I forgot to mention, I thought that Saturday was not going to be stream. There is stream Saturday. It's next Saturday that won't have stream. I think that's the current plan. But yes. Alright. That is going to be it for me. Hope you all have a very good night. For those of you on YouTube, this is the end of stream. If you have any suggestions of games like this, or games that you think match the vibe, leave them in the comments. That would be great to know some new ones to try out. And yes, the rest of us on Twitch are gonna go find somebody to raid, so hope you all have a good night, and hope to see you Saturday, Tuesday, some other day. Anyway, later. Bye!